Hey, it's Friday night. Tonight we're going to be live again. Cruel Intentions. Now, we know it was a movie, but we know what's happening in society too. So, hey, y'all hang on. It's AIL Live. All right, let's go. I'm a filmmaker. I've worked in film, video, and television for over 30 years. I took a little break, but now I'm back. Hello, welcome to another edition of Art Imitates Live with me, Tanya Dixon. Y'all, the best place for your entertainment, news, your information, your interviews, all that we have going on. Tonight, of course, we're not going to disappoint. We have Who's Spiked the Tea? You got your hot topics coming through. We're going to see what's going on out there in the industry. People shaking up some things, and we're going to follow up on a few stories as well. And then also for tonight, in the living room, you know how we get together on our panel and we talk about a subject and we kind of sometimes debate it, sometimes agree, and then we also try to leave you with some information. Tonight's subject is cruel intentions. Have we become a cruel society? And I'm going to let you weigh in on that too, so you can hit us in the chat, of course, either on YouTube or Facebook or even Twitch, and just tell us, kind of tell us what you think, all right? But what we do first, we got to hear a word from the sponsors. We'll be right back with the team to kick things off in just a few moments. Art Imitates Live with Tanya Dixon is being sponsored by Tandiland Global, bringing your multimedia dreams to life. Hey, welcome back to Art Imitates Live. It's time to get things cracking. I'm going to go ahead and get the people to come on in, unmute yourselves, and come on and tell me how you're doing and how was your week, the whole nine. What's going on, folks?
Hey, what's happening?
Hello, everybody.
Hey, y'all.
Salutations.
Greetings and salutations. Yes.
How are y'all doing? How are y'all
chilling,
folks?
man? We chilling,
All
chilling. It's been
It's
a
nice,
week.
cool, crisp night.
It's been
here.
quite a week.
It's been hot today, Texas. It's been hot today.
Really?
It's cool here. It's kind of cool here. So
63 degrees with a slight breeze. You know what I'm saying?
They get up to 80 here today, which is weird because
Really?
it was warm.
I am not ready.
Margo said, "Oh, boom."
Yeah, it was warm.
I am not ready for warm temperatures yet. I'm not ready. I'm not saying that I want it real cold or anything like that, but I'm just not ready for blazing hot on my eggs.
Right.
Oh my God.
It's actually 57 degrees here.
Yeah, I could work with it. If we had 50s and 60s year round, that would be like so perfect for me. Once in a while a 70, once in a while, like something different, something, to go to the 70s. So something like that I would absolutely love. You know what? I'm going around because I need all my setup time right now. Again, I don't even have my wine laid out yet, y'all. Y'all know
Nope.
I'm
Shame on
late with it.
you.
I don't
I
have.
was like, shame on you.
I know, and the air purifier ain't going. Yeah, I mean, ain't got nothing going over here. So, we'll go around and see how everybody's week was. Mike, we're gonna start with you. How was your week?
This week has been unique. It's been a universal synchronization alignment. But then it was kind of capped off with some family stuff. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So well today, you know, kind of found out that my brother's dad, you know what I'm saying, is kind of ill to the point of
Mhm.
he may be going through the thing that I went through a couple of weeks
Oh,
ago. So
Right.
um
sorry.
yeah, just
Right.
trying to, had to make contact with him and kind of reach out with him, make sure he good, and if he, to call big bro if he needs some, um,
Right.
you know, and dynamics of black family and single mother and
Mhm.
multiple kids and things. So it's just one of them things where I personally am not connected with his father, but that's my little bro, and so that is his father. I
Right.
know the gentleman, but I just really didn't spend a whole lot of time with him. So, my personal connection ain't the same as my brother's. So, but I still got to be there for fam. So that's that. But on
Right.
a lighter note,
Mm-hmm.
you know, out of all the months, I say a couple of years and months of the Turn 'em Loose LLC, not knowing if we was gonna go with the LLC or to be a nonprofit or whatever the case may be, we decided to start a nonprofit. And
Mm-hmm.
earlier this week, the letter came in the mail, basically approving our nonprofit status. So Turn 'em Loose
Oh.
Corporation, you know what I'm saying, is
All right. Good.
Don't put a
All right.
bad smile. Put a smile on.
Congratulations.
Don't put a
yeah, yeah,
smile.
yeah.
Yeah.
So and
All right.
she's not on here, but a lot of that contributed. The contribution goes to Miss Bridget because she was kind of the one to help us with the paperwork and
Mm-hmm.
keeping, getting everything together and then filing and submitting the stuff. So we've been
Right.
waiting for a minute, and then we finally got it. So we there. Colonel Loose Corporation,
All right.
501c3 nonprofit organization in full effect. So that's me, my
All
week.
right.
Well,
Cool.
congratulations.
Congrats.
Congrats to you. Well, good.
Like he
Thank you for sharing with us.
Yeah.
got his papers. He got his papers, y'all.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
that's right. Okay. Margo, how was your week?
My week has been, it's been a lot of shifting. It definitely has. It's been a lot of shifting, a lot of changes, a lot of unexpected occurrences.
Mm-hmm.
I myself am just trying to take it all in and try to stay positive about it because my work and people are changing their minds in different positions and are either leaving a company for something else or they're
Mm-hmm.
just, you know, not showing up. So I'm
Right.
just taking it all in. I'm stepping into my new position and hopefully I don't get any pushback
Mm-hmm.
because coverage is kind of short, but I'm
Right.
making sure that I follow through and I do my part. So
Right.
try to finish this year, try to finish up this year strong and try to stay positive about it all anyway. So I'm keeping at
This
it.
guy,
Man,
this guy
yeah.
said this to me today about the changes. Like a lot of people, he said he was talking about a lot of people quitting their jobs, a lot of people doing a lot of different stuff. Is that what you're finding?
Yeah. And half of it or some of it doesn't make any sense on some
Mm-hmm.
people's explanation of it all, but on others I definitely get it. Because it's more of a self-care, self-love. And it's like, why run your body and your spirit
Yes.
down here stuff like that. So, why do so? Just the
That
same. I was like telling myself I gotta do something for myself this weekend because I'm about to be Daffy Duck in a minute, running down the street, losing it all if I don't
Right.
recharge or something, for myself, just personally, just for me. But
Right.
that's
family life, it's a time, all that.
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of
Okay.
been the tone that I've noticed too. A lot of people, um, I guess the movement went along with the whole mental health movement, but a lot of folks are taking time out for self, and that's what I've noticed based off of what Margo was just sharing. Was like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people are saying the hell with this, and they're taking time out for themselves, and they're making
Right.
themselves a priority first, and then they're
Mm.
just like, I need a break, I need time off, I need whatever, and that's the route they're going.
Do you think that can be
Yeah.
attributed to everyone going through that whole, pandemic thing for a while, and you think everybody's just tired? You think that's
Pro-
it?
Yeah.
Possibly, like how much can you take, and then you know, I'll leave that where it's at, but because we can go on and on about that, but I'll leave that where it's at.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. Gotcha. Thanks, Margo. Rock.
Mm.
Veronica, how was your week? Lady V.
All I could do is shake my head. That's all I could do. Ugh, it's been a trying week, but I'm gonna maintain. I'm gonna maintain. I'm gonna hold my head
Mm-hmm.
up and keep going. I ain't gonna look back and dwell. I'm just gonna turn around and go forward and pick up and keep it going.
Right. I
All
understand.
right.
I could totally understand because my week has been so crazy. I feel like I'm almost coming to sitting here right now. It's been that wild and crazy, and still trying to pull a lot of things together. And that typing is driving me bananas. Tonight it's already started. And
Yeah,
so
they peeking
it's,
in already.
yep, already messing with us. But it's all good. We're gonna stay. We're gonna stick and stay, and not getting rid of us. But yeah, we're gonna see some changes with me over the next weeks here. It's a lot that's going on in my world, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. But glad to be here. Glad to be on
Yeah.
another AIL and sharing with you all tonight, sharing with you all out there. And be sure that if you are watching, feel free to comment. Feel free to let us know your comments on the subject matter. We're going to start off with who spiked the tea and everything. So whether it's about the stories in which we're doing or it's about the living room, be sure to just kind of chime in either on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. I'll put the information out for Twitch in a few moments so that some of y'all can start joining us a little bit more on the Twitch side. So just stay tuned for that. It's like for a moment there, I was like, what am I saying? So stay
Just hit
tuned for
in the
that.
chat.
I
Just
just
hit in the chat. That's all.
yeah, right. I made a discovery. It's like I always make a discovery when it comes to StreamYard. And I made this discovery now because I always, after doing shows and live shows for so many years in television, I hate dry monologues and dialogues. And now I see that they have background music. And I'm like,
Oh,
yes, background music that I could actually play. And I'm going to just see, let's see what this is like if we put a little black background on what we're doing, if we can hear it. I'm very curious. Come on. It's working right now, y'all. It's working. It's trying to come through. Come on through. Come on through. So can y'all hear it? So that means that
no.
we get to talk
I can
and
hear
have a
it,
little.
but it's not. It ain't G. I would tell you that
It
now.
ain't good. But you
No.
know what?
What
I want to
elevator music?
see. Yeah, I want to see though if they can do it, or like if we can upload our own, and then
Yeah.
I'll have it really going if I can really start to upload my own, and y'all know how that go. So so far, this is a step here. It's in there, but and
Yeah.
it's different. There's different songs in there. So it's in there, but it just ain't what we want yet. So we'll
Right.
work with it. Okay. All right, y'all. It's time for the tea. Let's go. Hey. Welcome to Who's Bite the Tea. Once upon a time, sometime in life, I'm going to finish opening it. I'm just too swamped. I am so sorry, fam. Right now, I'm too swamped to do any editing. But at some point, I'm going to finish it. I'm a meticulous character. It's just like when we're writing and doing other stuff. If I don't feel something the right way, I can't do it. I can't do it. I just, it has to be. It has to be there. It has to like sing to me. And it hasn't sang a song yet. And so until it sings that song, it will
It didn't say work on me. It didn't say work on me.
Yes. Until it sings like Michael singing and rapping in the song, then it can't get
Right.
there. All right. But it will get there. All right, y'all. Okay, the tea, I actually shared some stories with you earlier. The Mary Mary's, which Mary Mary's Erica Campbell. I wanted to bring that story in first. For all of you who don't know, Mary star Erica Campbell says Kanye West should try to be like God all week. Well, y'all remember as we talked about it last week and the week before and the week before, he's been doing a lot of fighting with folks, and he's been having his fair share of fights, whether he is fighting with Kim in public or fighting with her new boyfriend Pete Davidson or fighting with D.L. Hughley or fighting with Steve Harvey. He's been having a time where he has been fighting all the way with a whole lot of people.
Yeah, it sounds like he's been around everybody's neighborhood this last couple of weeks. But it definitely
Right.
sounds like the old Kanye is coming out before the saved Kanye. So that's what must be happening.
One thing I was doing yesterday, I was on my phone just, listening to some music in general, and his song, Good Life, popped in. And I was just enjoying his old music and his old ways. And he's just, y'all remember that song?
Yep.
Welcome
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
good life.
yeah,
So I used to really like that song. So I was enjoying some old Kanye back before we knew. So sometimes you just too much about a person or what they're thinking. I don't want to know that much, okay? All right. You know what I'm saying? Well, let's just say what Erica was saying. I'll go ahead and give you all just a little bit of what the article is saying here. And the article is on the source.com. It's just saying Kanye has already proven his versatility as an artist in the industry with 11 studio albums, one compilation album, 2 live albums, 2 collaborative albums, 4 mixtapes, and his documentary. There's no doubt that Kanye was destined for stardom. Somewhere along the line, I forgot that he did that much because he just became such a controversial person. I kind of
yeah.
forgot a little bit about the music. The music just got lost in all the other stuff that was going on. And so they're saying while the 44-year-old rapper's future is bright, recent events have okay, like I said again, recent events could have possibly been dimming the rapper's light in social media back and forth with Pete Davidson. As I was saying just now, that cat is just fighting, having a good time. So I'm not going to get into the whole thing about him, but I'll just say Kanye was blocked on Instagram for 24 hours following his antics with Skeet and dumped from the Grammys soon after. TMZ caught up with Erica Campbell, her as being half of the group Mary Mary.
Right.
And she was saying the singer is the legendary group Mary Mary, where she says that she feels a rapper should exhibit his faith all year round, not just on the infamous Sunday service. And I forgot about that too. I forgot that he has the Sunday service because
Yeah,
he
a
is
whole
doing
church.
yes, he is
Yeah.
doing so much. And so she
I
was saying,
can't.
okay,
It hurts my nerves.
he's
I
doing
don't
a
like
lot.
it.
He's doing a lot. And she would say, I just think if you're trying to be like God on Sunday, then you should be like him on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday as well. Now, I put this article for you all because I kind of wanted to know what you all think. We've had our conversations when we talked about church and religion and all kinds of things, and how it feeds into, industry stuff and all kinds of things. I kind of wanted to know what you feel with her chiming in about that. Should he be judged or ostracized because he has a church service with all his other activities, or do you feel like he is just like anybody else? Or what do you feel about that?
I'm gonna say that for one, I agree with Miss Campbell, but we do still have to give him a gray area in the sense that, when you think about somebody's life and everything that they have been through, you can
Mhm.
expect for them or a piece of that old person to come out, but it should be a different way that he handled his situation where it's not all in the limelight. With him having his status that he had, somebody's gonna catch it and see it. Paparazzi's gonna take pictures, and every word that proceeds out of his mouth is going to be recorded. So he's definitely got to choose how he moves and what he says in lieu to everything that's going on in his life. But we can't expect him to be perfect or
Right.
100% without any faults. So you got to kind of give him his, because obviously somewhere in all of this he's hurting. I
Right.
mean, yeah,
Something
and
wrong.
maybe yeah, something's off, something's wrong, because
Hmm.
he's surely coming hard for Mr. Pete Davidson.
Right.
And maybe he just can't understand why them two are even together and dating. So I don't know. But to my understanding, they've been done split and divorced and all of that. But what
Mhm.
you so angry for?
Right.
You
Right.
know.
I kind of wonder what was the change of heart when everything was manipulated. Okay, we know that anything that the mama touches for all the Kardashian daughters, everything is, it's a business. Everything that they do is a business. Even the guys that participate, everything is pretty structured. And he seemed to be unhappy with even that structure at one time. So what is it that's making you really feel like you want to go back into it? I'm not really sure what's going on with this whole picture of that. You know, Anybody else want to weigh in on that one?
Nah.
Veronica's just like, I'm not
Well,
gonna touch.
I was letting everybody else have their time. I'm gonna just tell
I
you
just
like this.
Kanye West is not one of my favorite people, but
Mhm.
because I don't like the way he is taking. I guess the level of what he's doing, far as Republican and Democratic stuff, and the religion and all that stuff. I just don't like the way he's doing because he did a wishy-washy switch thing from
Mhm.
the beginning, and I just don't like the way he did it. I don't like the way he's treating black people, so I don't care
Okay.
too much for him. So I don't
Okay.
like putting name in my mouth.
All
All
right.
right. So if you follow him on other social media platforms, you'll realize that he is doing one of those waking up my black people moments. And he has often said that if I die, it is not because of suicide or what they say it is.
Mhm.
So it ain't just what we see on the surface. See, the whole Kim Kardashian thing is something totally separate from the
Right.
people
Well,
that he's
well,
dealing with, the people that he's dealing with, and the people that he's battling. Because
it
he
ain't even
has,
his marriage that messed me up. I mean, everybody go through their little marriage thing. That part didn't mess me up. It's just the way he did politics. I guess that's what just messed me up. As far as his marriage to him, Kim,
But why
they
did
got
it
a
bother you
beautiful
with
little
the
girl.
politics? Why did that bother you, the politics?
Cause I'm Democrat.
Hmm.
He's Republican. He turned Republican. He running for Donald Trump. Donald Trump don't like black people. He want black people money, but he don't want to do things for black people. And it's just different stuff that's I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't know everything about being in politics.
Mm-hmm.
I just follow the little things that I know. I know, some things that he was trying to mess us up and take away from us, and then some things he was trying to give back to us. But it's just I just don't. It's just I don't know. It's just a whole lot of different stuff. I can't really explain it.
I don't agree with that narrative. That's a narrative, in my opinion, that has been painted by the media, because you got to remember the media is owned by the leftists. And as long as they own something, they're going to control your mind to believe everything that they want. Now, I can't say anything about anybody's views of Trump. That is totally up to a person who they like somebody or not. But I promise you, anything that is good for you as a person out there, and you're looking at the news and you're looking at media, it is not what you're going to be hearing when you look at that. Anything that is good for you as we the people is going to be tainted and turned in some different way from the media. And that's all I'm going to say on that. As far as Kanye is concerned, anybody should be able to like anyone they want. And I think that political parties are just as much a joke as I do how people are choosing all these different religions and everything. To me, is six in one, half a dozen in the other. Mike, you had something you want?
If he wasn't Kanye, we wouldn't even be talking about him.
Yeah.
Right? He'd just be some regular other citizen or whatever. Now, back to the whole Mary thing. I don't know the young ladies. I don't know their lifestyle. I don't know if they 24/7 or not. I do know that as human beings dealing with life issues, you got preachers, well-known preachers, that have slipped, fell, and strayed away. So to I guess indemnify this man based on what he's doing. I mean, he's got a platform, he's using it. Some people follow, some people don't. Some people like the old way and they don't like the new person, but the new person is tapping back into some of the old ways, and it's like, well, he need to make his mind up. I mean, when you go from being broke to having nothing, yeah, you relate to a lot of people. But when you become a billionaire, your status is totally different. No, you don't forget where you came from, but you ain't finna hang around and do some of the same things that you've done. You've traveled, you've explored, you've been out there, and so you've experienced different cultures, different diverse things. So your mindset and your whole thing is different. So he is different. So a lot of average people not gonna understand or feel where he's coming from. Now, to go back and say, well, he need to do this and need to do that. We can tell a whole lot of people what we need to do, but how about staying off the social media platform, reaching out to the young man on a separate occasion, and then pulling him in. The back and forth and the arguing that he's doing. If you got people that's older, say, man, let me holler at you, bro. I'm not finna do all this back and forth on social media. Let me holler at you, man. Whatever you got going on, let's build around this young brother. That man is running. Not only he's doing what he's doing, but that man running from somebody, and he keeps saying it. Hey, if I die, it ain't what they say it is. He is.
Well, you know why he's saying that?
Yeah,
he's saying it just because of what I said just now.
Messing with the Kardashians, you don't know what, because you know how they say you mess with them and the men don't be the same.
But like I said, like if you don't follow, I mean, and I'm like, I just started kind of following him recently. But I mean, like the man dropping gems, jewels, and knowledge, you know what I'm saying, on just some of the things that we say people need to do in his position.
That's it right there. He's using his platform, but people don't want to hear it because it's not going along with the narrative that the mainstream is pumping out there. He's using his celebrity. Yeah, he gets a little crazy with it, but he is using his celebrity to say things to you. And the reason why he's saying if something happens to me is because he's going against that narrative. And that's what happens to people. I've told you all before, people dying hanging from doorknobs.
That's not funny, but
right,
no.
So I do understand his methods may be unorthodox. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people can say, man, there's a better way to do it. But I mean, at that point, I'm just saying, but at that point, that's just like, if Veronica decided to voice her opinion, somebody gonna be like, well, she shouldn't have said it like that. Well, how else would you have her say it? That's her viewpoint. You know what I mean? So I don't know the man personally. I'm not in this business. I don't really follow the Kardashians and all of that. But whatever the hell going on, I know what a broken heart feel like, and that can cause you to do some crazy stuff. Sorry, that can probably cause you to do some crazy things. As far as his political views, we can get into the history of where we started to where we at, and how the things got flipped and reversed, because Black people started out as Republicans, and that was in Wilmington, North Carolina, where all of the Black people sat Republican in the Senate, and then the KKK or whoever else, people that whatever was going on back in them times, kind of created a whole movement to overthrow them out, and then they switched it and disrupted. And
you saying it the nice way. They went and physically beat them. Okay, just say it.
I'm just saying, I don't know what we can say on here. You know what I mean? Like shit.
We can say that they physically beat them.
It was a massacre. Basically, it was a massacre. Like you want to get down to it, but I was trying. I don't know what's being can say. And I don't know if you're gonna get flags and red or color blue, whatever. I don't know.
Sometimes you just gotta say it with, you gotta tell the truth.
So for a lot of people, they, I don't have the full story, but I know I have a little bit more information than what we typically hear, or hear about. So it kind of changed. I have a different perspective on it, but I do understand. You know what I'm saying? I do understand where people are coming from various points of views. I do understand it, and I can see why they think or why they feel the way they feel. I totally understand that. I just have a different viewpoint based off of some of the things I've kind of recently found out as well, and kind of did some research on. So,
basically, I'm just gonna say it this way, and people get mad at me if they want to. I really don't care. If you're not going along with the narrative, if you are of melanated skin and you're not going along with the narrative that's being promoted for the left side, you don't have to be of that party, but you have to go along with that narrative. And if you don't go along with that narrative, you're considered a sellout and all these other things. And I think it's the most dumb thing ever, because what that says is that you can't think for yourself. It says that you can't think for yourself. And when you do think for yourself, you have to be an outcast. And that's just dumb to me. I do have a question. I mean, because I'm sitting here saying these folks could have or should have reached out to him, outside of the social media platform. Maybe this has been done already. You know what I mean? And maybe it's kind of like one of them things, how, you deal with some people and you just be like, man, I ain't even finna deal with that. Like, I know them. I've already tried, been there, done that. They do it quietly. They do it quietly because, they can't publicly say a whole lot. Like, remember, who was it? Was it, what's his name? Comedian who went and met with him. He was my host at Def Comedy Jam. Oh, gosh. What's his name? The one who disappeared for a while. Dave
Chappelle?
Dave Chappelle.
He went and sat down with Kanye and everything. He was concerned about him at one time, and as we always say, that ain't the real Dave anyway, because when they were after him, they done switched them out anyway. So ain't no damn telling who that is was talking to Kanye. I'm just saying. I'm dropping the dirt out there. You can take it or not, or you can keep believing that narrative that they want you to believe. I think every time I come on here, I say some stuff that probably gets me in a little bit more trouble, but I just don't care. But that's why I decided to do the show. You know what I'm saying? I can sit here and be diplomatic, you know what, and say some mess that I'm supposed to say, or I can tell you how I really feel and stop wasting my damn time and yours too. That's all I'm saying.
Say keeping it real with AIL.
Keeping it real. Yeah. Wait, Bridget saying something. Let's see what Bridget said over here.
I got to come here. I got that already. Oh, sorry, y'all.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Bridget says, Let's see what she says. She says, to me, he seems like a man really struggling between grief and family and trying to be who he wants to be. The industry in itself is a cruel environment, and you either pay to play or get out of the way. You damn right, girl. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And
You never know. You never know
right.
what people going through. I mean, like, and we kind of seen his life play out in public. You know what I mean? As far as, but you can be one person in front of them cameras, but then behind the scene, you somebody totally different. And that's what I've always said. These celebrities are human beings first. They started out as regular people. They just got lucky enough to have a break. And you never know people they meet, influences that they have, peer pressure, whatever.
Well, some of them are no longer human. Remember that, though. Some of them are no longer human. So you just have to accept it or not. Accept it or not.
I don't. Tyrese. Oh my God, he dug up on my skin for a long time. Because I mean, like I said, I love chocolate brothers, but after he said what he said, I was like, look, dude,
which particular comment? Yeah, which particular comment? He's made a lot of comments
about big women.
Oh, I think I remember that
what
comment.
He said about big women. He was like, they stink, they're nasty. Why would anybody want to lay something beside that big or something that floppy? He just the fat women disgust him. He wouldn't date fat women.
Well, you know something? I'm gonna just say this. I'm just gonna say this. Let me see how I can say it really nice. He belongs
quit sugarcoating. Just say it. Just say it.
Yeah, just say how it comes out.
I'm just gonna say it because I totally mess up my platform. He belongs to that F&F franchise. So as long as he belongs to that F&F franchise, that on that franchise, well, first of all, wait a minute, hold up. Veronica got my attention with the Pinot Grigio all up in the camera.
Yeah, the F&F. Educate me.
Oh, the movie, the franchise, F&F.
Oh, yeah.
And
okay. I got you. Okay.
So as long as he's on that franchise, then every one of them on that franchise was compromised. Every one of them on that franchise, damn near all the leads, compromised. Okay. There's some names on that list that shock me. And I'm gonna put it in the private chat in a minute. So as long as you belong to that franchise, and there were some things about the Paul Walker death and everything too. So to me, all that whining and carrying on that he doing in public, y'all knew what's going on with that man behind the scenes. That man really whining and carrying on, and gonna be whining more and carrying on when things break open. I'm using so much symbolism in that statement, but you have to really follow me on that one. Okay. Mm-hmm. Did you follow the symbolism?
Yeah, we got it.
Okay. All right. Cool. And wait a minute, before I move on, in the private chat here, I know y'all can't see it on the screen out there in the public, but I'm very disappointed about one of the names that is on that list from that franchise, and it's just is what it is. It happens, right? It happens. Mm-hmm. All right, so we're gonna move on. We've talked enough about Kanye West. We seem to be talking about him just about every week now because he's doing something just about every week, So I don't know. It's time to move on. Here's another story. Brandy sued by ex-housekeeper who claims that she was fired over her age. Now, I didn't totally understand this story, but I'm going to give it to you. Now, TMZ has learned, and this is articles on complex.com, but TMZ has learned that a lawsuit has been filed against Brandy by her former housekeeper who alleges that she was fired in February because of her age, okay? The unidentified housekeeper accuses the singer of no longer wanting an older caretaker. She claims to be over 60 years old. The housekeeper is seeking $250,000 in damages after allegedly failing to pay for her in the last 2 days of work and never allowing her to take legally required breaks. She allegedly earned $125 per day cleaning up her Calabasas home over the last 20 years. Now, that's not enough money, Brandy. 125 a day for some. That's
Yeah,
nothing.
a day.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Yeah, like what did you? So you're really skimping out on her if she go
Right.
hourly.
That's something
Yeah.
that we would pay.
Well,
We would pay 125 a day at
Yeah.
our level.
yeah,
Mike, what you
hold on.
saying?
I'm gonna do some math because I'm just trying to see if because it's Brandy, you expect to be paid more.
Right.
But
See, right.
but if you out here working and you getting paid $15 an hour or $20 an hour, or depending on your skill set and your qualifications and your resume, like everybody else go through,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Where you get. Oh, let me get my calculator.
So
Yeah.
that's 5, and
No,
then
no, no,
what
no,
is
no.
it,
I'm gonna
6?
give a fair number. $25 an hour.
625, 620. No, it's 125 an hour. I mean, a day.
Uh-huh.
125 a day.
$25 a day.
It's just, so that's
Okay.
like 625 for the whole week, right? Is my math
125
right?
days. Is she working 7 days a week? How many days a week
Let's
she working?
just say let's give her 5. Let's give her
All right.
5 days. And
That's
so
so there's 625 a week.
right.
Oh wait, hold on. Equals, and then we're gonna
And
time.
that's if she's working 5 days.
Hold
What if
on.
she's not?
That's $2,500 a month.
But she's doing work for Brandy.
That's
Not
$2,500 a
me.
month.
Just still you cleaning her home there. That's should be a little
And
bit
then,
more
and
than
then
that.
hold on, because she made the statement that she wasn't able to take legal breaks or take leave. So we actually need to do 125 times 7, because she made it seem like she wasn't going home. Let's
Right.
run them numbers.
but
125
but
times 7. Hold up.
so
Equal.
that doesn't mean that she was getting paid for that.
What she
It
getting
don't
paid?
sound like it. It doesn't sound like she was getting to pay for those breaks.
She said it was 125 a day.
It just sounds like a flat 125 a day regardless. It just sounds like that.
Okay.
Okay, while you're figuring it out, let me read a little bit more. We disagree and we'll have further comments after we speak with our lawyers. This is the representative from Brandy. That's how they responded. Brandy and her stylist, Ashley Shawn Thomas, were sued in January by a fashion designer, LB Membetov, over alleged disappearance of $45,000 ring. Now, the Membetov claims that Thomas asked her last year about borrowing clothes and jewelry for Brandy's appearance at the upcoming American Music Awards. And Membetov gave Thomas a few outfits and a Dream Bull, Big Bang, diamond ring, but the latter was never returned. She alleges in court docs that the 18-karat rose gold ring was last seen on the piano in Brandy's home. So Brandy claims that she didn't wear anything from Membetov to the AMAs, and that the above photo taken at the award show may support her argument since the ring in question doesn't appear to be on her finger. And Brandy never saw the ring and has no knowledge of it ever being in her presence. It was never a part of her look for the event. That's what her Brandy's representatives say. So basically, it's saying that she's got 2 lawsuits going on this year. One from a housekeeper saying that she is firing her because she's over 60, and that whole thing. She's taking care of her for 20 years. And then another one over here with somebody saying she didn't return the ring. So we got some issues going on. So what's y'all's comments on
Look
that,
here,
Michael?
I ran that number for if she wasn't getting time off like she said she was, just for shits and giggles. 125 times 365, that's $45,625. I
You know
don't
what?
know. I don't know what kind of lady this is, what her background was, what she started off with before she got hired. But that's 45 grand. That's and when you look at the statistics in America, that's putting her on the borderline between lower and middle class.
Well, you know what I'm laughing is because when I hire my people, I'm gonna run my people through Michael, because Michael gonna save me some money.
Well, all I'm saying is, if it wasn't Brandy and she was working for anybody else, you wouldn't say that. But I don't think the money thing was her issue. I think the fact that she feel like I'm 60, I'm still capable of work. Now that's federal. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you can't discriminate due to age and stuff like that. So there would have to be either a preference, just cause, or a clause in whatever contract that they're dealing with that lady either signed or didn't sign. But that is a federal thing for equal opportunity employment and things like that could potentially be that. So if she's running a business or a hiring service or however that works, then she could be held liable in civil litigation for that. And that's probably what the lady going after versus the actual pay.
Right. Yeah, and pretty much what you're saying there, that is the story. That is the whole thing right there. I only mentioned the 125 because it seemed to be a little low, but in general, it is the fact that she's over 60 and she is being fired. She has been fired. And so that's the real issue of it all.
Yeah.
All right, give me a second just to kind of give some background. That is that's the Age Discrimination in Employment Act.
Okay, go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? And they kind of go and say it forbids age discrimination against people who are age 40 or older. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't kind of pulled it all the way up, but this is just what's on the surface. Yeah, but it says, and I'll give you the source where I got this from in a minute. It says it does not protect workers under the age of 40, although some states have laws to protect younger workers from age discrimination. So it is not illegal for an employer or other covered entity to favor an older worker over a younger worker, even if both workers are age 40 and or older. So, I mean, it kind of goes into age discrimination in work situation. And this is coming from, to give credit, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission.gov is where I got this from. So,
okay. Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. So if we're looking at that.
That's your story. Yeah, that's your real story right there. And so I wonder how this case is actually going to turn out. I really do wonder how they're going to handle that situation. I'd be very curious, and we shall follow up on that story because I'm very curious as to how that one's going to come through.
45,625 is good for somebody that ain't got no damn job. I can tell you that.
I take it.
It may not be.
I'm just saying.
It may not be hopes and dreams and ultimate goal type of money, but it's something.
Where's Brandy's home located? You got to think about that.
Calabasas. Yeah, Calabasas, California. Now you know out there in Calabasas, they are.
Then you got the going rate for
Well, I can tell you now, 45 grand ain't shit in Cali.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You got to think about the going rate for a maid and services and stuff like that.
Was she tending to the kids too?
Say again.
Was she attending the kids benefits as well? I mean,
I don't know.
Well, if she's been there for 20 years, and she basically says she's taking care of her for 20 years, I care to bet that she did help. I care to bet that she did.
45,625 times 20 years. That's 912,500.
I take it.
Now that changes things right there. Even though she in Kelly, that's damn $1 million.
I'm gonna pay my people more. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
I would make sure that their lives are enriched. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I do understand when we all live it. That you got rent, bills, kids,
Right.
life happening, miscellaneous. So I get it.
You said Cali. You know what I'm saying? Like you said.
I'm
But
just
I
saying.
still, seriously, I'm gonna bring Mike in.
Hey,
Look,
look,
I'm gonna get an ear. Okay, Mike, this is the number I'm thinking about. And when you
man.
go crazy, I'm gonna gauge it based on that.
Hey,
I'm
look,
still gonna high. I'm still gonna go high, but I want to see what you think.
I'm just saying, look, you talking to somebody, and I'm pretty sure other people have been there that's done struggled and been to the lowest of the low. You know what I'm saying? And people like to say syrup and mayonnaise sandwiches, you know what I'm saying? Barbecue sauce sandwiches, sardines, beanie, what they call them, beans, weenies, big 20-pound bags of rice to feed you for a month. I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? Spam for days. And I love spam to this day. You talking about hog head cheese, you know what I'm saying? Liver sausage and all that little stuff with the string around and like all that good stuff, man. Talking about a 5-gallon bucket to use the bathroom because we didn't have one. I mean, like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Pouring bleach and vinegar in the bucket to try to kill. I mean, everything I'm talking about as low as you can talk about. So when somebody say, well, I ain't this and I ain't that, when it comes to me and feeding the family, I'll shove a shit in the snow if I have to. I wouldn't give a damn. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so if people sit there and complain ain't no work out there, well, do you think you're above the work that's actually available for you? Because if you're trying to feed somebody and trying to make a buck or two, you know what I mean, you got to come on with it. But
sorry.
Let me stop. Bless you. I do understand that people have
got to get out there and hustle.
That's just where I'm coming from, man. Just different mindset.
But it's hard also. The older that you get, it is harder to find gainful employment. And this lady is over 60. That is an issue. So I can understand.
And I'm not saying that that the woman is wrong, because like I said, that's a federal mandate. It could be in violation if she finds that out, and if that is said to be true. And like you said, that is it, because they keep moving the retirement age damn near every time you turn around.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know how y'all feel about retirement, but the age keep moving. At first, it was like 60 something, now 62, 65, 67.
Right.
Like
down, right.
The economy's so bad, you can't retire like you used to. You can't retire early.
You're gonna have to be 80.
Yeah. Right. Your retirement age gonna be 80. Yeah.
On your way out. Then we'll give you a check.
I should be tired.
Man, it's crazy because you got some.
You don't need to bury yourself. That's what.
You got some people that's like that at 80 years old, they just as fit as
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I'm just telling you, it's gonna be to the point where people are gonna be like, hold on, Lord, I got one more bill to pay. Give me a couple more days.
I think that's Veronica. I'm gonna be her. I was just gonna ask y'all if you all wanted to take your selfie. Wait a minute. Her thing is really it won't allow me to put it on mute either.
Ooh.
Yeah, something's going on with it, and it won't allow me.
Yeah, you tell you it'd be 80 when you're 80 years old. Hold on, Lord, let me get a couple more hours of work in. I got an extra bill to pay. Don't take me just yet.
I know, right? But you know what? I guess when she gets back, we'll see about doing our selfie and everything too, because I like to put all the selfies up for everybody when she comes.
I am curious though. Like, is it if it's due to physical demands or the type of work that's required? Because some jobs have it to where you have to be able to lift 40 pounds or 50 pounds or something like that, and that's part of the job description. So this woman that's there, like,
it could be anything.
You see what I'm saying? So like, I'm curious to know the conditions of which this woman was let go from work. You know what I mean? I am curious to know.
What did it state in Brandy's contract?
Actually, because they real brief in this article here, so we're gonna have to wait and see what happens. They kind of brief in this article, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I guess we'll find out. TMZ or whoever decides to bring the story back, because this article here is a little bit like scarce.
Yeah.
I think they're still trying to get the details together. Hey,
Right,
y'all, before
right.
we go to another story, y'all go ahead and give me that smile so that we can go ahead and get our selfie in there. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? All right.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'm always telling y'all to do this, and then I'm always moving my mouth or blinking. So let's try to. I'm the problem. Let's see. I'll do one more. Okay. I should have something out of that. I should have something decent, but I'll check
Yeah.
it to see how it is and see if we need to do another one. All righty. You know what? We're going to move on from this article. We'll go to another one. Oh, Raven-Symone. There's another one that I had.
Oh wow.
Y'all.
Right.
Okay. Raven-Symone and the cast of Raven's Home walk off the set over Florida's ridiculous Don't Say Gay bill. All right. So let's get into this one. This is from people.com. Okay.
Yeah.
Raven-Symone and her Raven's Home co-stars are protesting Florida's Don't Say Gay bill. On Tuesday, the cast walked off the set of the popular Disney Channel series in response to the recently passed bill, HB 1557, which prohibits discussion about sexual orientation and gender identity in primary school classrooms. Okay. In a video shared on Instagram, Simone, standing outside with her Raven's Home cast and executive producer, says, "We are walking out today in support of this ridiculous bill. We do not like it. We're walking out. It's stupid. We love everyone. Support, support, support." The video ends with cheers and waves from the cast of Simone. She's age 36. Gosh, she's 36. My gosh, where have I been? Well, okay, she walks out and says, "We out. We're walking out." In support of the LGBTQ plus community. I'm sorry, family, and all of those who will be damaged by the Don't Say Gay bill. We, the cast of Raven's Home, looking out. This is what she said in the caption. In today's world, it is imperative that we take stands, show support, and move forward, not backwards. And she continues on. I'll give you a little bit more, and we'll just discuss it from there. Every family, every person, and every child deserves to be recognized, no matter their race, gender, or sexual orientation. Education that reflects the truth and the world we live in is something we must fight for. Hashtag Don't Say Gay Bill. All right, y'all.
That's like a household name, a word for the day.
What's
You
that?
know, calling somebody gay or
Mhm.
it's like in a jokingly way. We sit around the house. Like say something about, oh, that's
Right.
gay. Oh, you so gay. Oh, stop being gay. You know.
Mhm. So you're saying that they're putting too much into it that is desensitized? I mean, I'm trying to get an idea of where you
I mean,
going.
why not? Why you can't say it? I mean, why you can't? Why you can't? Or why you cannot say it?
Oh, okay. Okay, I got what you're saying. I got what you're saying. Well, it looks to me like it just goes in hand with a lot of things where they don't want anybody saying anything anymore. So, what do y'all feel?
What for defending somebody or?
Mm,
I'm I'm like this. I know I watched a TikTok or something where this lady said it best is that it doesn't necessarily need to be introduced to uh young children in the sense that they need to just be kids and let them focus on the education that's been given in the classroom, that the basis of the education, math,
mhm.
science, all those things versus
Right.
yeah, they're going to learn about their body and they're going to but at that age and that stage
Mhm.
of their life, let their parent take care of that versus introducing it to them in a classroom, you
Right.
know.
But on that note, Margo, you have these parents that are raising. You got they get little kids, but they're raising babies or adopting babies or whatever. They got two mothers in the house. They got two fathers in the house. But
Mhm.
it's like
But
a
trust me,
parent.
they if that's the
Somebody's
case,
got to
you
come
had
out
that
somewhere.
conversation.
Well, I look at it like this here. Merriam-Webster's dictionary says that the definition of gay is happily excited, merry, keenly alive and exuberant, having or inducing high spirits, bright and lively, brilliant in color, giving to social pleasures. I mean, they do go into this is me kind of leaving out the other stuff. They do go into the whole of relating to or characterized by sexual or romantic attraction to people of one's same sex.
Mhm.
Of relating to or intended for people who are gay, lesbian, bisexual, or transgender. So there are multiple definitions under that term. So which term someone may be using that may be a little hard to kind of just, saying discuss. Hey, I wasn't talking about that kind of gay. I was talking about being merry, happy, and lively and exuberant. You know what I mean? So now you're trying to dictate people's vocabulary at this point. So now how do you mix it? Now it becomes intention. Like, well, what was the person's intention? Well, you don't know.
Right.
So
I'm gonna give y'all a take. Here's my view, and I'm gonna take what you said, Michael, and I'm just gonna say, okay, sometimes I just finished talking about the far left and their narrative. You also got the far right in their narrative, and to me, this is more of the far right narrative. So to me, in this country right this moment, we got a problem. We got a problem with the far left and the far right because they're one extreme to the other. And when we get back here towards the middle, this is where the realness is going to be. There's a person who was mentioned earlier that I can't mention his name again, who served for a moment, and there was a plan which his presence, especially when it comes back, because it will be back, is to eliminate far left and far right, because that has been the problem with this country for a long time. The extremes on both sides. You have no business telling this person this or either side, and they get real adamant and crazy about it on both sides. Where sometimes the truth is in the middle.
I mean, but they're passing bills now that's potentially affecting constitutional rights. So I mean, obviously it had to go through
Just
some
because
vetting
some
process.
of them, well, you gotta. Okay, let me just go ahead and say this.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, obviously there has to be some type of vetting, or should have been some type of vetting, to not infringe upon constitutional rights. Secondly, I don't know if you read in that article, I may be jumping the gun, but they were talking about bringing people in or moving people into that city, wherever they are, to further the agenda, if I remember reading that article right, the Raven-Symone thing. So my question, and then that dives into another question, but go ahead and finish what you're saying, and then we can get into that. Sorry.
I was just going to say that when it comes to voting on things, you notice that a lot of the voting on things is kind of frivolous stuff out of the air, right? They just vote on crazy stuff these days. That's because you're going to see a disappearance of all these people in Congress. We no longer need large government. They don't do anything for us. So all of this people, large number of people that we've been looking at for years is no longer needed. And a lot of them are compromised anyway. They took bribes. They worked for the dark ones. They participated in all the child stuff. I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but y'all know what I'm talking about. And there's a lot of prosecution and persecutions that are going to happen. Prosecute, and they're going to kill their ass. Maybe that's a good way to say it. I don't know. But there's a lot of them that are going to be going down. So we're not going to have this large number. So they're sitting there having a good time voting on this and that and the other. And a lot of it is CG operated. Some of these people are not even there. This is just frivolous stuff that they're doing. They're voting on anything these days. It's kind of frivolous, but you'll see. It's hard to talk about now. And I've been really funny about bringing that to the forefront, because that's something that needs to be seen for people to accept.
One of my things that I do. One of my things that I saw reading that article was how quick everybody chimed in to kind of support that whole movement. Like, different companies was like, yo, we stand with them against this. And I'm to hell with it. I'm going to talk now. To hell with it. I see that. And I'm not taking away from any of what's going on with the movement. However, I did notice that when Black people try to do something, it gets minimized, diminished, or overcrowded with other things. It gets cut short. But if and we're talking about civil rights and equal opportunity and all that other stuff. So you get back to Black folk on that one, and then you kind of look at that and you say, well, if we did that, would it get that same support? So I'm kind of curious, is why don't we try it? You know what I'm saying? Why don't we just walk out and quit and just say, the hell with it? You know what I'm saying? Don't say whatever you're supposed to say or not say, and let's just walk out and see what we get. I mean, like, you know, and make it a thing and see if everybody can come together and do that. And then,
well, it depends on if you are in that, you know, you're right, but it depends on if you are that flavor that they want to support. Because when it comes to these corporations that are getting behind that, remember, everything is top down. Who controls the corporations?
Yeah, I mean, I was just kind of curious because
I'm asking a real question here. The corporations are controlled by that same little elite group that puts out that narrative. So they're controlled, and so naturally they're going to support one another on things. So that's what you're dealing with. And then it's a fight. It's a fight of the far left against the far right, the ones who are coming up with the bill. So it's a fight against both sides, far left and far right. That's all that is. We're witnessing.
What I'm seeing is, depending on, like you said, you know, left, right, and who's in control and who sits at the top. But we've seen it all over the world, and we've had our own proof within the United States that, you know what I'm saying, numbers are the thing that you need to get things done. So if the citizens of America are looking for, you know, towards getting things done, and we know that we need numbers, why not band together in unity to create the numbers to get what you want done?
I agree.
It's just baffling because it's like, well, we know what we need to do. Why not do it? You know, so you had movements, whole movements, women's rights movements, you know what I'm saying? Civil rights movements, you know, the LGBT community, as far as, you know, with them getting along, and because it's all part of civil rights, you know what I'm saying? People think the civil rights is like, oh, civil rights, Black people. No, you're talking about civil, like civilians, you know, citizens, and the rights to be or exist as you may be, you know, pertaining to the Constitution, and depending on your beliefs, you may believe that or not believe that. But, you know what I mean? Right. Overall, there's a theme that's supposed to be, and we the people, well, damn it. When you look in foreign countries, when they go to riot and protesting, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Sorry, man. I kind of went on a tangent. Yeah. It's like let's get it. Like we know what it takes to get what we need. And why the hell we not doing it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is again. You have to kind of ask yourself. Oh, my dog is just really. He's really working hard to get under his cover. I really should help him. But
it sounds easy. It sounds easy. You know what I mean? Or it sounds cool.
I'll say this.
But I do know that there's probably some things out there that kind of, you know, deter people from going ham, as they say.
I'll say this. When it comes down to it, it depends on the agenda that's being pushed. See, it's not random. People think it's random. It's not random. These things are contrived and done and promoted on purpose. There's hardly anything out there that is so random and original, done by someone who has a thought to care about someone. You know, like you, Mike, you're having thoughts about what can be done. That's original thoughts so that you can go out there and do it. But a lot of these things are not out there on that reason. These things are being promoted on purpose by either side. They're pushing some agenda, and they bring their celebrities, they bring the different voices in to help them meet their goals.
Right. Well, I mean, I commend the young lady for standing firm on her belief. You know what I'm saying, and having the support to do so. So I do commend that. I'm not familiar with that whole whatever the hell was going on and not having it. You know, I kind of look at that as trying to take out certain things in the history books or not promote certain things in school because you don't, you know, for whatever the reason was. I know what the reason is, but you know, you want to take certain things out of school because you don't want kids learning certain things. Well, they shouldn't be. Why? It's the truth. It's your history. In order to move forward, they tell you in order to, you got to learn your past so that you don't repeat it in the future. So, but you know, obviously, you don't want certain things taught in school. Like,
looking back.
You know what I mean? Like, so, so it's just like one of them things, man. Like, what do you? People can't talk. I'm pretty sure somebody had a good justification for it, which is why it went the way it went and went through the stages it went through. Right. Somebody disagreed, and they stand up for it. And obviously, there's a valid argument as to why, and they're standing up for it. So I commend that. You know, what I'm saying, standing up for what you believe in. You know, whether people agree or don't disagree, Sorry, you standing up for it, and you're making a statement, and you're letting your voice be heard. So kudos.
Okay. All right. Well, you know, we got to chat. I see Shamika made it into the chat. Mike,
no, put her. Yes, no, you have to post that one. You have to post that excerpt. Please.
Okay, you ready? All right.
Look, she straight up said, I made it late, but I'm here. Getting the tooth pull ain't gonna stop me from showing up here. Hello, beautiful people.
Hey, Shamika.
I told her, go ahead, girl. I said, go ahead, girl. You a real one. So she's.
I hope that medicine. I hope your medicine kicking in right about now.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, that's
talk about it. Mine hurting right now.
I know, right? And I got the cheeks. I tell you, my cheeks have been swollen because the weather going in and out of cold and everything, and I could actually feel it, and I feel a little pain, you know. So I'm like, please, that's the other side, though, of warm weather coming in. That is kind of good, you know. I had to say, if we really look at it, that's better when we do get a little warm weather. I just don't want hot weather. That's all. I want it hot.
Well, summer almost here, y'all. Well, how you know? Well, my teeth getting hurt.
That is true though for me.
Summer right around the corner because my teeth hurt. You know what I mean? Like,
I know that's true for the rain in your body.
Yeah, that's what it tells you about
rain. Well, that's dead ass serious for me. I got one more story, and you know, by the way, before we go out, I'll just run through a few things on the very tail end. But I'm deciding between a couple stories here. I'm gonna run faster. I'm gonna run a little faster because we had a lot to say tonight when it came to, you know, a lot of these stories. They were interesting enough to hang out with for a minute. So I'm going to move forward to Bow Wow. I'm not going to say a whole lot about this. I'm just going to ask you all how you feel about this. He basically, I'm pulling up the article here from NEWSBREAK. It's on hiphopdx.com. That's the full article. And he said, Bow Wow suggests that he regrets signing with Jermaine Dupri as he credits Snoop Dogg with his career. Now, I'm not going to go into the particulars of this whole story. This is not, you know, where I really want to go. He just basically said that he felt like he made a mistake and that he should have stayed with Snoop and he never should have signed with anybody else. And it's obvious in his whole article here that he and Jermaine, they didn't always on the same page creatively. And he said he ain't got no problem with him. He just ain't working with just because, you know, you ain't working with somebody don't mean that you hate him or anything like that. You know, he said that man do his thing, I do my thing. But basically says that he should have stayed there with Snoop. He loves Snoop. They have a, you know, camaraderie that's always going to be there. But if my question to you all is, if you were Jermaine and you had been responsible for helping to get Bow Wow's name out there, how would you feel right now having heard this young man say that? How would you feel?
I would question. I would ask, like, you know what I'm saying, where did it come from? Because now, if you just look at it like now, this is me. I don't know the whole full story, but for somebody to just make that statement out the blue, Snoop is doing good. Snoop is doing well.
Right.
Snoop got commercials and shows and everything. And if he's comparing Snoop's, road to stardom and road to fame and accomplishments to JD's, and I don't know what all JD's done and invested in outside of what we can see in the public, but Snoop's is obvious. So it could just be a man. I should have stayed with Snoop. Look what Snoop doing. I probably wouldn't be struggling as much. You know what I mean, or whatever. You know what I'm saying. I don't know that man's situation, but it versus what James Dupri doing. So it's like I don't know where that man at in his life and what's his status and if he's on the same level as Snoop now. You know what I mean? Like it could just be a damn, I fucked around and went with your man. I could have stayed with Snoop.
And he was just maybe in the beginning he was most definitely trying to hang on to being loyal since he started off with JD. So Jermaine Dupri. But even on top of that, it's like, what do you feel that you're really lacking? What did you feel that I did not give you? Is possibly what Bow Wow's getting at, and do you feel like you need to make that statement out in public like that? Like he could have, like a lot of people say, you could have put it to the side or said,
whoa, you said pull him to the, he don't owe him nothing. He ain't got to tell him.
No, I remember that. I said it could be like that since he got his stardom from him. So it's just like you would hope there would be a certain way or some certain camaraderie that they would have talked this out. Like, man, like what's up? Why you say that? Like what you feel like I missed out on? I didn't push you out there to be on the show with Arthur or what?
I think it's one of them things where when you sit back and look at where you at and look at where you could have been. Man, I went down this road. If I'd have went down this road, look at how my boy flourished. Man, I should have went with Snoop. I'm sorry. That is for me. That is the only thing that makes somebody say something like that. I could be wrong. But that is the only thing. But go ahead.
But that's Snoop promoting himself. You know what I mean? That's Snoop promoting himself, not another person in what they're doing necessarily right off. But of course, he's gonna push more for himself. And Snoop's been around in the game for a long time. So he's his own.
So I do have. I really wanted to know how you feel about that because to me, it sounded like he was just trying to. And I read the article. It sounded like he was just playing it down like it was no big deal. But I think that had I really worked hard to put his career out there, I would have been probably a little in my feelings. But we don't know what kind of fallout he and Bow Wow and JD had, or if there's one at all. And they just don't see. It sounds like they creatively don't see eye to eye. That is some of it.
So, from my understanding, I don't.
That's what this kind of sounded like too.
Know, but I do know from my understanding whether he was enjoying it or not. He was exposed to a lot. You know what I'm saying, at a young age. You know what I'm saying, being in the studio and with the women and things like that. Whether he liked it or not, it's still fucking molestation if those women were a certain age and he was a certain age. You know what I'm saying? I'll put it
this way. Is from what I understood, and I don't want to just throw this rumor out there, but I have heard that it's on video that it's not. This was really out there pretty far. That it wasn't a woman, it was a dude that was violating Shad, and that it's all on video and everything. So these decisions were made. Remember, I tell you, when you cross over certain decisions, certain levels, there's decisions that you make, and there may be some bitterness.
So I say that because when people are trying to figure out what's going on and like, oh, that's just somebody trying to stay relevant. Very well may be, and I totally agree that that's wrong. Actually, Shamika, since I'm saying this, Shamika's basically saying. She's like, now, wow, he was, oh no, now, wow. I thought she was showing emphasis. She's now, wow, like Bow Wow, now, wow. So she was saying, now, wow. wasn't saying that when JD was turning out his hits for him when he was a child. You know, Bow Wow is grown now, so anything popping or not popping in his life is his own responsibility. And then she said that is
which
so
is very
disrespectful to JD.
Yeah. Yeah, and see, to me, I it ties into that life that I was just talking about. I could talk to y'all more in the after show about that. I don't know how much I should put out there like that, but there is a very explicit video that is circulated out there of a violation.
The only thing I was getting at with that was, you know, if you sit back and you kind of reassess your life and you start looking at certain things and you're like, man, like that happened to me and that really messed me up.
Right.
I should have stayed with Snoop. You know what I mean? Because we never know the you know what I'm saying, the context in which he's speaking it.
Right.
We just know that something was said. And that's the thing about text and written words is you don't have the voice, the facial expression, the body language, you know what I'm saying, or the intent of what's actually being said and how it's being said. We just know that he said something. You know what I mean? So that's a way to look at it too.
Right, because there was obviously something that went on. We just don't know what it. But you know what? Speaking of something going on, we got to move home.
I should have stayed with Snoop. I'm sorry. That's gonna be my little phrase from now on. Anytime something ain't right, damn, I should have stayed with Snoop.
But you know what? This is another story that is really a little weird to me, and I'm gonna, you know me, I'm gonna say something. Oscar winners may flip their statues upside down in silent protest of the Academy Awards controversial changes. Okay, I'm gonna give you a little backstory. This weekend, Oscars may be turned upside down as we may see winners from all categories accept their Oscars upside down in a silent show of solidarity with the 8 affected categories. We are all filmmakers of equal importance, said Carol Urban, president of the Cinema Audio Society, in a statement. Okay, his guild members also plan to wear their guild badges upside down in protest of the Oscars moving 8 live categories to a ceremony, and showing them pre-taped during the ABC telecast. Okay, I got a lot on this, but I'm going to reduce it down to what I feel in just a few moments. But let me just see if y'all care or say anything before I say what I got to say.
I'm just because some categories have been reduced and stuff is going to be pre-taped.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to wonder how effective them handing the Oscars upside down go do what? I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make it, little, because I don't know the full backstory, but I'm like, I could turn it right side up after you give it to me. I mean, I don't.
Margo, big damn it deal. That's.
I mean, because that sounds like something my preschoolers would in order to protest.
I'm gonna turn it upside down.
We don't want these peas, so we just go. I mean, they got to do something different if they want the categories and stuff to come back, because I don't know how effective that's going to be. I mean, it's making a statement, but
like, no, you can turn it upside down. We'd be like, oh, he got his upside down. He must don't know, or he's so excited, or he must be drunk. You don't know that, but now you tell him like, yeah, I'm gonna turn Oscar upside down to protest. So fuck what? Like,
I would receive it and be like, okay, is there something in this little cup part? Like, was it supposed to be some Kit Kats and some chocolate in this little?
I haven't been out here on it. I've been with Uncle Sam for a while. But if it's a silent protest, how about you do it and then disclose what you did and why you did it? Or how does it work?
They want you to look at the
You-
words, and so they want you to look for it. So they want you to look and see what they're doing. That's a lot of it. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah,
Or it could be
then
for
it's not,
viewership.
then
Yeah,
it's not
exactly.
solid if you're telling us about it.
Because really,
We
they know people not watching. Their numbers have not been what they're supposed to be, and they know people not watching. So this is just a little something to get your attention. And I really could give two craps if you're turning your statue of Osiris upside down. Thank you. That's what I got.
But it means something. But you know
real
what?
no way.
You know
It's
what?
like it ain't real no way.
I'm a quote old Pops Bernard on this one. It's probably going to, because it's a high profile event. It's probably gonna mess with the decorum. shout out to Bernard, right? Of the history and the prestige and everything associated with the Oscars. I feel like that's probably what that is. Like, you know what I mean?
Here come Lady B.
Like everything has to be in a certain way, certain order. So by wearing your button upside down or turning your trophy, award upside down, you know what I mean? It's like, what are they doing? Why isn't it straight down? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, what I was
it's gonna bother. Yeah. Hello.
Hey,
you know what? I just hit the send button for our pictures on IG, so I'll add you on the Facebook ones. I just did it. To send it out there. But you know what? I'm gonna tell you what it is, okay?
Margo was ready to say something, we cut her off when Bridget came in. Yeah, go ahead and finish.
Oh no, for this only gonna bother those that really know and fully pay attention. Like Mike was saying, those that are a part of it and know the background of it all. Because everybody's not gonna, I mean, we're gonna see it and be like, okay, it's just upside down, but everybody else, they're telling you something without saying something, but they're telling us beforehand before it shows. So now that we know, but it'd be nice to even, to how is it really, we would need to speak to those that it's affecting to really know how they're viewing it and what does this fully stand for? How is it making them
Margo,
feel?
everybody else gonna be like, and so what? Because really, this is just to make you look. It's just to make you look at them taking their Osiris statue and turn it upside down. Because that's what that is. That little statue is Osiris. These people, that's not a salute to the gods that we know, or the gods of us, the gods within, the god, whatever name you call, it's not that God. It's not that. It is the false gods. Remember I tell you they pray the false gods. And that's all it is. That's all you're looking at. And it's really insulting when you look at these real serious behind the scenes, how they're saluting this Osiris on every award show, and they got people all hemmed up thinking that all this stuff is really real. And folks, I used to believe it all too. I was right in there. I told you I wanted to have the award for best director. And I mean, I was really in there. And then I found out what I was looking at one day. Ain't no Yahweh, Yeshua, none of that over there. None of that. Okay.
Y'all gotta read Shamika's comment. I'm sorry.
Oh, what's Shamika said? What's going on in that chat?
That's just silly.
Mike,
read the chat. No, Margo can read it.
Oh, my bad. I had clicked off of it. But she was saying she said it would be more of an impact and of interest to me if they turned the recipient of the award upside down instead of
that's a statement.
That needs to be on the screen, right? Let me go ahead and throw that on the screen real quick.
Now that's a statement there.
That's exactly, because that's too many things that they doing. It's just too many things. All that up in one room, all amongst with all of them put together. It may not be one human being in that room. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Hey, just saying, walk around here turning awards upside down. Ooh, they turned their awards upside down. Yo!
I know, that's what I'm like. I'm just gonna put chips in it or something to drink it. I don't know if it's if it did. I'm just like, what did y'all expect me to do?
Wait a minute. What's this Veronica got on her specs? What's going on there? Veronica was
I was trying to read what's in the chat. Can't see.
Okay. I looked around. I'm like, who the hell is that? What's wrong with some specs on?
So you know what's throwing me off is the fact that Veronica was on the bottom left screen for me. And then now she on the right. So I was sitting here like, well, she's supposed to be over here. And somebody then took her place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Bridget came in here and moved. Bridget came on her chair and moved out the way. Go on, girl. You know what? I'm just going to do one more thing, and then we're going to get out of here because the time is coming. It's time for us to jump over. I just have to pull this article. Where is it?
We don't know.
Upside down.
You know what I'm going to do? Huh? Oh, it's upside down? Exactly.
You know what? The article is probably with Snoop.
And it's gonna blow up. It's gonna blow up. It's gonna have Tostitos and Martha Stewart deal and all that stuff. The whole article.
Well, the article is probably working on being holy 7 days a week. Like one of them, like.
You know what? I'm gonna stop laughing because this is a sad occasion right here. As many of you have probably heard, the renowned gospel singer LaShawn Pace, she died.
Yeah.
86 more. Yeah, and so I wanted to just bring that out to everyone. Gospel singer from Atlanta who rose to fame performing with her sisters. The Anointed Pace Sisters, and she's passed away at age 60, and they're Grammy-nominated group and everything. And so we would love to just give the family and surviving members our love and our prayers, and because of course that's hard losing that loved one. We just talked about Tracy Braxton last week, and we talked about Bookman, losing Bookman, and losing the guy from Sesame Street. Just different people, and then the folks in our personal lives as well. So all of them are sitting together, having a good time. I used to say that when my sister passed away, because my sister passed, and I used to say about my dad. When my dad passed, Ray Charles passed right after him. And I said, he's sitting with Ray somewhere. So when my sister passed, Whitney Houston passed right after that. And I said, she's sitting with Whitney somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So it's fun things like that we can think about in the loss of our loved ones. And of course, we wish that family the very, very best.
Right. My dad, they probably all them Jordans up there having a good time. Trust and believe that.
Yes, I'm sure they are. I'm absolutely sure they are.
They turn up right now.
Turn up. All right. Well, you know what, y'all? It's end of the tea. It's about time for the living room. Let's take a little break, folks. And we'll be right back with the living room in just a few moments. hey, welcome to the living room. Gosh, that was really cracking up there.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on with me. But, tonight, of course, we were not going to disappoint. We're going to make sure that we come through with a topic that hopefully will be good for you. The living room is, like we always say, we take a topic, we sit down and discuss it. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't. But that's just like the living room at your home, right? You have the company come over. You remember, especially when you're young, your parents have folks over and you might be peeking from the other room and then they sit around and discuss. Sometimes they get loud, sometimes they cool with it. They sit around, drink a little bit, have a little fun. But it was always a lovely discussion. And so that's what we do here on this show too. We sit around and discuss something and hopefully we have a consensus going on and hopefully you learn something out there too. So but
Right.
we have fun. Nevertheless, we have fun with the whole thing. All right. So tonight's topic is cruel intentions. Have we become a cruel society? And this was something that I thought about mainly because just looking at people out there, and seems like everybody is kind of going through something. We kind of touched on it earlier, just anger. We've noticed increase in violence. We've noticed there was an increase, of course, during the pandemic, the domestic violence. There's been just an increase and people anger and just doing what they want to do. Have we become a cruel society, or is this just a little phase that we're going through in response to what we have experienced 2020 with the pandemic and then the residuals of all that? Are people just tired and saying bump it and doing what they want to do? So that's tonight's topic. And so therefore I just kind of want to start to get everyone to weigh in. Tell me what you think. And then, of course, you all out there in the chat, feel free to weigh in with your information. And of course, I'm going to put it in the chat. I keep forgetting to do it. Twitch.tv/the real Tandy girl. I've got to put that out there so that people can start visiting us on Twitch. I'm going to do that in just a few moments. But what do you all think about tonight's topic as we get into this door here?
Go ahead.
You sound really low, Bridget. Let's see. Uh, let's see. Talk again. It is very low, very low.
I barely can hear you.
Yeah, it sounds like you're down in the tunnel. But we oh, you're trying to get all your technical stuff together. And while she's getting her technical, Veronica, Margo, do you all have anything that you want to weigh in while Bridget is working on her sound?
Yeah, I'll say that I've noticed that a lot lately. There's a lot less of people being, kind and courteous. I know that at one point with the pandemic, they were saying how people were banding together and doing things and really showing
Right.
up and showing out with trying to help one another. But now that we've kind of come out of that, it's either, I don't want to say it's halted completely, but it's regressed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's a little bit, um, I've seen a little bit more one for all. And so it
Right.
does, you know, when you do see kindness or acts of kindness, you're like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, good,
Whoa.
good. You still kind of get inspired, but it's real
Right.
rare. It's starting to get
Mm-hmm.
rare again.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
so I don't think sometimes people are fully aware or noticing how they're carrying themselves or the look upon their face or this, that, and the other that could come off as unwelcoming. But
Right.
it definitely can be a little discouraging when you see, like you're saying, people on the road doing things that's just foolish or having
Mm-hmm.
road rage, over
Mm-hmm.
little bitty things, but it's still other stuff that might have happened, unto them before that moment happened
Right.
that that carries on that negativity or that anger or this, that, and the other. Because it's a lot compiled on that person's shoulders, over a time frame or even just within a day. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I I can see it too. I get to work, you're seeing everybody like, or something don't go right, or they didn't have your special drink at the corner store that you thought, that they'll help you get through that morning, that coffee
Right.
made, or and
Mm-hmm.
then stuff just adds up or adds on throughout the day, and the next one little thing can push you over the edge. So we
Mm-hmm.
definitely to get back to making sure, you know, we're held accountable. You stopping and you thinking like, do I really need to go that far? Do I really
Right.
need to do this? Does it
Mm-hmm.
is that really gonna be the one thing that pisses me off? But to make a foolish decision at the one moment that you are angry, that will affect
Mm-hmm.
me for a lifetime, or should
Mm-hmm.
I just, you know, step back
Go
and
with the flow.
chill and
Right. Right.
reassess?
Give us some thoughts before they act, because I believe
Yeah,
that when it comes to road rage, people making a temporary situation into a lifetime incident
yeah,
decision that will affect their whole life.
it's
Somebody cut
crazy.
them
It's
off or
crazy.
something. Yeah, it's crazy, absolutely bananas. But I'll share this with you all. I was feeling the same. That's how I even thought about this topic. I was just watching a lot of things out there and how people were just, it felt like people were just being so insensitive. You're going through something very deep, and folks were not being very sensitive to the things that you're going through, just as if you're invisible. So that's
Hmm.
how, when I came up with this topic, I said, what has happened to people and the way they are? But something happened to me yesterday morning that kind of said, okay, I got a little bit of a renewed faith. I got out of my car. I had an appointment yesterday morning, and when I saw how far I had to walk, I have extreme anger right this moment. We
Hmm.
all know my situation here, and when I saw, normally that's a breeze walk across the street up to that, no big deal. I
Hmm.
was walking a few steps and stopped. Walking a few steps, and I said, "Oh my God, I'm not going to make it." And I got to the corner, and I had to cross over in front of some cars. So when I crossed over in front of the cars, I started walking up the hill, and I was walking so slowly. And so I looked back, and I was so embarrassed because I couldn't walk all the cars, and they were looking at me. And I said to the lady behind me, I said, "I'm sorry, I have really bad asthma. I can't go." And this lady said to me, she says, "Do you need some help?" And I said,
Hmm.
"Yes." And she wrapped her arm around my arm, and she
Oh,
says, "We're going to do this together." And her name is Tamika. Shout out to Tamika, wherever you are in this world. And she take a few steps with me and stop. And then another man came up. He was an older gentleman, older Caucasian gentleman. He said, "Y'all need some help." And he was going to stop. And then another lady came up. And then there's other people who were looking. They were all offering to help, because I
yeah,
really thought I was going to pass out. And it just kind of renewed my
yeah,
faith in people, that all these people who didn't know me from a can of paint was there
right,
to help me to get into this building. And so then
right.
I got in the building, and I was in the wrong place. And I was just like, oh my God. And I remember they were all looking at me like, are you going to be okay? Are you going to be okay? But I made it over to the other building, and just the whole morning, even the lady who I met with, she gave me a ride back to my car. It was just, I watched everybody all yesterday morning try to help me through that situation, and it's just like brought tears to my eyes that there are people who still, they really do care.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that was refreshing to see at a time we don't see it a whole lot. It was
yeah,
very
yeah.
refreshing to
It
see that.
really is rare. It really is rare.
Right.
And then when it does happen, you're just so thankful and grateful for it, because
Mhm.
it's hard to think that a lot of kids are growing up to not have like certain things instilled with them, certain manners and all that kind of stuff. And you'd be like, how
Right.
you not, like, this should have, but everybody don't think the same way, and everybody don't, process everything the same way or push that
Right.
upon them. But it is
Right.
good to and hear those stories, because it, like you say, it does renew,
Right.
like your
And
faith
it made me
with
feel, yeah, it made me
stuff and
feel
people.
really, really good, really good that it's still out there. And I remember I came home and I just listened to music because I was just feeling a good vibe that I had gotten from the people, and the way that they behaved with me. It was just really nice to feel that. Now, the title of this whole subject is Cruel Intentions. Does anybody remember the movie? That movie,
Yeah,
Cruel Intentions? Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and
yeah.
that was from
Ryan Phillippe and what's her
yeah,
name?
Felipe
Witherspoon.
and
Reese with
Reese Witherspoon
yeah.
and the other girl. What is her name again? Sarah Michelle Gellar. And
Uh,
just a quick thing, it was the IMDb mission. There's two vicious step siblings of an elite Manhattan prep school make a wager to deflower the new headmaster's daughter before the start of term. Now they were off the chain. That was the first time that I had
yeah,
seen
yeah.
young people on the screen like that. They were off the chain with it. And I think from that moment on, whenever I look at Ryan Felipe, everything he played in, he was still that to me. He couldn't get out of that character in my head, because he was
Right.
cute as he could be, but he was just a manipulative little rat, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
so what do you all feel? And when it comes to, first of all, that movie, how do you feel like that movie, what it brought to society as far as, because I have my thoughts, I want to hear your thoughts first, and then we can go further into the what we feel about society.
Well, they were like what step brothers and step sisters or something like that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, and then they was just kind of playing the tit for tat game, man. So
Mike,
I
you
don't
got a
even know if
repeating
people.
going on now.
I don't even
You're
how
repeating.
I. Well,
Okay,
okay.
now it's not doing it. It's not doing it right now.
All
Okay.
right. Yeah. And they was kind of going tit for tat, over certain things or whatever the case may be, and people do that now. And they ain't even got to be related. Sometimes family does it, but they hold tit for tat, this and that type of mentality. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, man, look, we already said people come into your life for reasons and seasons. People can come into your life and be a blessing or a lesson. And in some cases, they both. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, you know what I mean? Once you realize that time is up or that y'all are at odds or no longer on the same wavelength,
Uh-huh.
man, deuces, holla at you. No ill will, you know what I'm saying? No malice, you know what I'm saying? None of that, you know what I'm saying? Thank you for the time that you did give. That was of positive kind. And
Mm-hmm.
anything else, I ain't got to deal with you. I can feed you with a long spoon. I ain't got to disrespect you, call your names, cause havoc in your life or nothing like that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's just it. We can part ways amicably and be done with it. You know what I'm saying? That's the grown folk in us, or it should be. You know what I mean? But then some people just naturally hate and want to see you down
Mm-hmm.
because maybe they see that they was on some BS. You still prospering. How they still prospering? And I don't.
Jealousy. Mm-hmm.
Maybe you were the thing holding me back. Like you know
Uh-huh.
what I mean.
Right. Right.
So, but yeah, like no need to. What does it? Bobby Brown say? Don't be cruel. Cause I would never be that cruel to you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like you know what I'm saying? Let it go, man.
Right.
Let it ride. Yeah.
Well, I have a
But
question. I mean, I totally agree with you 1,000%. But when I go back and I know that when I think about what we were just saying just now about the movie and how it had so much it was so much attention from the public, and I didn't want to draw a conclusion to today's show of Euphoria. Did anybody watch Euphoria on HBO?
Mm-mm.
mm-mm.
Euphoria is off the chain.
I know
Zendaya
I've
starring Zendaya.
seen I've seen one
Yeah,
or two episodes, but yeah,
Well,
it's
but
they just
it's
got
yeah, it's
free
on my TV.
promotion. They just got free promotion.
I
So
know, right?
yes, it's off the chain because again, it is high school students, and the drugging, the drinking, the sex, the everything is extreme. It reminds you, it's like It's like Cruel Intentions on steroids because it is really hardcore. And but Zendaya, she plays the hell out of that character Rue. I forgot it was her. Because she just, man, it's off the chain. I suggest if you get a chance, check it out. Yeah. To me,
she's a great actress.
She's something. Yes, she is. And she's really good in that. You will actually forget it's her because she's so good in it. But what really tripped me out, there's a part in the story where, okay, the first season, I really wasn't there for a lot of that. But when it came down to the second season and all that, you start to see the character, the whole story pick up. And this last season here where they introduced all the characters so defined, it is really something. I can't tell you about the story in case you get to go see it, but you see everything in this particular story. It will have you wanting to binge watch it because it's a lot in it. So it caused controversy out there simply because these young people into drugs and the sexual acts and things like that. Do you feel like those images that are being put out there is promoting that really heavily to the kids, that they're desensitized to all that now because of these shows and movies and stuff like that? What do y'all feel about that?
They are like they,
and
not to say that this particular show is just the It's not to say that this one show is the end all and be all show that's doing it, because it's been happening. Kids have been seeing grown-ups on TV cussing each other out and hitting each other and shooting each other and all manner of stuff, sex and everything else. So they have already been exposed to it by the adults who are, doing this stuff. So now for them to be exposed to kids doing it, they're used to it at this point. Like I have 13-year-old boys here in the house and 12-year-old girls, and I can't tell you what all they've seen because I know they've seen some stuff. They can't tell me they don't, because if they're not seeing it, at school or hearing about it at school from somebody, they're trying to sneak on their phones or somebody's phones or tablets or whatever to see it and get exposed to it. So it's not a shock value anymore. Like, oh, you should be watching that. It's no, you know not to watch it. You should be responsible enough and mature enough to know this is not something that you should be watching. So I don't promote it. But at the same time, too, you have to understand they're being exposed to stuff anyway. Like, you just have to be the parent that's going to guide them in understanding the consequences of the bad things that they're seeing, the rewards and the good things that they're seeing, and and vice versa. So, but yeah, they're exposed and they're desensitized. Like, they can see somebody get shot on screen, and then go down the street and see an ambulance and like, oh, I bet somebody got shot. Let's go watch. Like, that's not something that when I was coming up, to see something like that would give me nightmares. But for them, it's like, oh, it's cool. Let's go watch.
Right. I saw the most weird thing, and this is a tiny bit sidebar, but I saw the most weird thing I've ever seen in my life. I witnessed a fatal accident. I was there as soon as it happened, and I'm going on the freeway, and I'm like, what is that? What's happening? Everybody just stopped. And I'm eating a burger. I'm eating a Wendy's burger because I'm on my way to Life Jennings and Vivian Green concert. So I'm like, I'm running, get me a burger real quick, and I'm going to the concert. So I'm looking, why everybody just stopping the road? Then I see this guy running back and forth. He's running back and forth. He's just really distraught. I'll just tell you what happened. What was in that road was the body. I'm in the lane where the body is. So what had happened is the lady, she was trying to dip around a truck, and she overshot it, and she flipped into the median and threw her body out on the road, and the guy hit her body. And so he was freaking out, running back and forth. But the weirdest thing I saw out of that whole situation was a family. It was a Black family that was standing there, mother, father, and the kids, watching the whole thing. They were outside of their cars, standing there watching the whole thing. And I said to myself, you have to be really demented as a parent, that you would get out of your car and go stand there and watch the whole thing and let your kids come there too. Sometimes when
Now,
something is happening, people see something and they don't really process it. But what about later on when they really process it? Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Bridget, go ahead.
now I would say this. Now, if it was a situation, if that car accident was something like a drunk driver accident or something that you can tell, what the situation was just driving by, parents, I mean, you can never tell how parents are going to handle a situation where they're trying to bring the shock value to their kids and get them to wake up and snap out of what they're seeing and feeling to be cool. So if that was a situation where it was a drunk driver accident or a texting while driving type of situation, they
Yeah,
literally
you
could have.
change it.
To me, they could have taken the kids out and say, "Hey, look, this is what's going to happen to you if you get caught doing this. If you get
Yeah,
caught drinking and driving, or if you get caught texting and
use it as a
driving."
teachable moment. Use it
Right.
as a
It
teachable
was
moment.
weird to me because I'm gonna tell you how weird it was. It was only about 15 to 20 feet where they standing there. First, that's the first thing. No ambulance or anything was yet because it just happened. No ambulance yet, no police cars, no nothing. We, the people, I'm in the lane, and at this point, we're spreading out to 5 lanes. I get up to the body and I got to move over. And I look beside me, all the cars, and every car is doing this. Everybody's freaking out. And they're calling somebody. The hell is going on over there? But these people with their kids there, I just freaked out. And I went to the concert. I I told Vivian Green myself when the interview that her music it kind of helped me through because I was in total shock when I got to the venue. And my friend who I met up with, she was an EMT, and she was like, "Girl, don't you drive home, get to this concert." Because I was going to go on home. She's like, "No, you get on down here, and you need to work it out in your brain first before you drive any further." And then Life Jennings, when he performed every song now, I can think back at that moment. So I just said to myself, how did the young people process that? If I processed it that way, how did they process that? And so I just saying with young people, just in general, are they seeing too much? Is it causing too much? And is it causing us as people in general to have a harsh and a cruel society because we're talking to one another on social media any old kind of way. We're talking to one another in person any old kind of way. We're road raging. We're doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Is it attributed to images? Or what do you feel it is? I mean, we kind of said maybe the pandemic, but there's a lot. There's a lot on this page. What do y'all think?
Man, it's everything put together. It's from the top down, from politicians to leadership to laws. I mean, think about it. I mean, I was just talking to somebody today, and the first thing they said was, you know what I'm saying, man, Austin, hell, the state of Texas is out of control since they passed this law that you don't need a concealed license. You know what I'm saying? It's people out here just you know what I'm saying, banging away. You know what I'm saying? Turning every situation into a shootout. For
Yeah.
what? You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Because you're soft, you're sissified. You know what I'm saying? You're
Yeah.
scared to take an ass whooping. You know what I mean? And like it's so on and so forth.
Right.
So, and it's crazy because you got a lot of folks that's out there like, man, you know what I'm saying? Boy, I got hands. Shit, go ahead, bring hands to a gunfight, see what happens. You youngsters is not playing no more. They will shoot the shit
Right.
out you. You know what I mean?
Well, isn't that
Because
also a cowardice way of doing it? Because when we were young, we would, lay
right,
hands.
yeah, them times
You
is gone, sis. Them
right.
times
Long,
is
long
gone.
gone.
Them cats is not playing, and it's all about extendos and FNNs and AKs and you know what I'm
Right.
saying, Glocks and everything else. These cats is
And
not
they,
playing,
they
and it
and they
Right.
just feel empowered with with that metal in their hand versus, doing it any
Right.
other way,
And,
which is sad. It's definitely
and
sad.
And that does go
yeah,
back
because
to
I think
what
it's
they hear and what they see. the games they play, the music they listen to, the TV shows they watch, guns
The
and
music
violence
is
is being
making them angry.
glorified.
Yeah, the music is making them angry. It's getting them riled up
You know
too.
what I'm saying? So
The
and then
games
and
they
then
help
they,
you learn how to shoot.
you know what I'm saying? And then they're you know what I'm saying, they are identifying with these folks that's out there, and these people know what they did. Like, you know, like when they tell you way back that the rappers even came clean and said, hey, we had a meeting and they told us about the agenda with the way they was trying to go with music. Where they totally
Right.
cut out all of the positive raps that came up right, you know, late all the way up until the late 80s, and then early 90s is when that whole thing kicked off. You know what I'm saying? So you know, it's media programming and stuff like that. And then remember, you know what I'm saying, you had some political movements that kicked off some things too. You know what I'm saying? Where you had the war against drugs, you know what I'm saying? Which was, you know, we know where the drugs was going to. And then once you got that, you got the whole mandatory minimums, 3-strike rules, and then the mass incarceration. So now you have a whole, not trying to be funny, but you have a whole generation of broken household. You know what I'm saying? And we can get into the history. We've all heard it before. You know, you got a whole generation where, you know what I'm saying, fathers missing out the home. You know what I'm saying? And mothers being forced to work. So now they not there. So who's raising the kids? They raising themselves. And how do you raise kids now? And I can guarantee you right now, if somebody got a hollering baby right now, the first thing they're going to do is hand them a phone or a tablet. You see what I'm saying? The first thing they're going to do is hand them a phone or a tablet. Here go your phone, here go your tablet. And they're going to put on some show or some fuzzy wuzzy or whatever. And they're going to walk away and going to do whatever they want to do. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no telling what they done click to and switch to. It's 2-year-olds that's operating a phone
Better than the
adults.
Like, come on, man.
Yeah, and I'm guilty. I see some of the videos where the cutest things, where the baby is going bananas, and then they had them on the phone, and they're like, okay, it shuts down everything, and they start
You know what I'm
working the
saying?
phone. And I've been guilty of thinking it's the cutest thing.
Straight up. And the sad part is that technology, that's the new poppy. That the Bridget son called his pacifier poppy. That's the new poppy. That's a new pacifier. You know what I'm saying? You pass them a damn phone or a piece of electronic equipment, and that's it. You know what I mean? You know, so you know the personal engagement, and I'm not saying that this is everybody, because there are some who monitor, like, you know, and I ain't gonna say like they should, but who monitor and control the, you know, time and all of that, that's exposed to. But you know, some people don't. You know what I mean? And so,
right.
you know, and then some people don't. You know, their conditions don't allow them to go beyond, you know, their immediate terrain, so they don't know nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I mean, there's a whole lot to kind of cover those grounds, but that's where it's at. And then you're talking about cruel intentions. It's a cruel society,
right?
You know what I mean? You know, and the intentions, look where they learn from. The intentions.
Ask y'all some questions.
Man, let me stop.
Okay. Could it be? And here's some things that I said to myself. Okay, I'm gonna bring it up again, because maybe if I keep bringing it up every week, then people will figure it out.
Okay.
There's got to be some things that people see that they don't understand. I brought it up again last week. The leader of the free world, how he looked then when he was under Obama and how he looks now. We clearly see it ain't the same person. And if you believe it is, I tell you what, I feel sorry for your ass. And I got some swampland that you can buy. And it's got diamonds on it. And we're gonna make a lot of money together. Okay? Because I just don't understand it. Your ass is crazy if you believe that. So things are being, in other words, things are happening right in front of people's faces every day. They have the questions. They know something ain't right. It's happening every day. You know that food ain't just all of a sudden disappearing. You know it. It ain't some weirdness. Oh my God, food is disappearing, and we're gonna this and that. You know these things are being manipulated. Why can't people see that?
So,
Why is it?
so let me ask. So, did anybody see? I know I read this, and I don't have I don't have the source to be able to cite it, but I did see it today on my timeline, and I did go into that article. I didn't save it, but it's just becoming now. It's to the point where Jill Scott says she not trying to stay in the United States. You know what I mean? She said it's out of fear of raising her 12-year-old son, being a black man in America, and that because of he's getting ready to turn 16 and potentially he's gonna be driving and stuff like that. So she's saying that she, like, hey man, I'm dipping, and it's a lot of other people that kind of agree. I've kind of, I've lived overseas for a good amount of years, and it was a lot of stuff that was going on in the States, and I was like, well, shit, I don't know if I want to go back to that motherfucker. Like, you know what I mean? And that's real. It was just like, man, I'm good right here. They treat the brother with a little decency over here. Like, I'm not sure if I want to go back to that. You know what I mean? And so I get it.
This might be the free world. Okay, let me just say it this way.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be the free world. This is the place where a lot of attitudes and all kinds of things are put on the forefront. A lot of things go on, but it's being pushed on purpose. And I say it all the time. Once you take those individuals away out of power, which is happening now, you're going to see a difference. And we have to choose at that point to become a kinder and gentler society. Once people learn the truth about what's being done to them, that moment they have to make a decision. Do we want to be more kind to one another? And I really hope that you come back with a yes, because if you don't, your ass gonna be on them 2 planets that I told you about last week. We can put your ass over there on 2 planets, and y'all can shoot them up and bang bang with one another. We ain't gonna be dealing with that no more over here in 5D. That's all I'm saying. But that's what you're looking at. This has been the country of the real experiment. We were the experiment project on a lot of stuff. We were being controlled by I'll tell you, the alphabet boys, and y'all know which ones I'm talking about. You may not know both of them that I'm talking about. I'll put it in the chat right now. But that caused a lot of problem for. Hold on, I'm gonna put it in so that you all will know more of what I'm saying. I put it in the person. Okay, I make sure I put it in the private chat and then put it out there on the big chat. So
yeah.
That's a lot of the issues that was controlling, as that first one that I mentioned there was doing everything possible to take over this country. And so that's a lot of the results that we see, people being pitted against us and using the ones who were supposed to protect us as the police officers, using that to harm. And that was all a direct from that group, and a direct from, I think I've told you all, how I feel about the whole Freemasonry and all that. It's a direct from a lot of that type of stuff. It's just something that you have to kind of study. But that was done purposely to us, to keep us in check, to keep us always scared. It's just like this. I'll mention this and then I'm gonna shut up and let y'all talk. Okay. When Barack Obama became the president the first time, and he got out of that car and he walked during the celebration and the parade, how many of you all had a fear that he was going to get shot?
Yeah, I mean, it's any black man that in a public figure, in a public stereo like that. Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you why. That was an image that they put in your mind, because they did that on purpose That's the purpose of bringing in Dr. King, doing everything with him. And then when it got ready, they showed you what they can do to a person if they rose to a certain power, just as well as they bring you in, they take you out.
Okay.
The man was not dead when he got to that hospital. That man was not dead. They took that man out in that hospital. That man could have lived on. They took him out in that hospital. But they wanted to plant that image in your mind. Don't you ever feel that you can freely walk down the street without us controlling the situation. Once I found out what was going on, I always knew. I mean, I knew then he was safe because he was a part of that group. But at first, I didn't know that. And I was in that fear thing too. Oh my God, he's outside of there. But then I started saying to myself, he's got all kinds of protection everywhere that knows stuff, because you don't get to a leader unless someone in the fold wants you to get to that leader. You don't just infiltrate and get in there unless there is a weak link in there that wants you to get in there. I repeat that again. It's not happenstance. These are plans. Assassinations and all those were plans. You know what I'm saying? And they try to put it in our heads. And that's what they do to minorities. That's what they do to anybody, any group of people, not just minorities, any group of people, and to us overall in this planet. Whatever they want you to believe and to think, they have different ways to scare you into submission. That's all that is. That's all that is. It's unfortunate. It's just that we can't, as a society, allow ourselves to be scared into submission every day and treat one another badly. That's where we've got to do better, is how we treat one another. Because that's something they put there. You know what I'm saying? That ain't something we put there, you know?
Yeah, it's just a shame that, you know what I'm saying, if you wanted to voice your opinion, you basically have to be willing to accept death. You know what I'm saying? And I put that in
You
one of
said it
my
earlier. What your boy say, Kanye, right? You said it earlier.
so but I put that in one of my songs. I mean, not my songs, but one of my poems that I did over music. But it's basically saying, you know what I'm saying? You know, it was talking about, black fathers and men and women. And it was like, you know what I'm saying, at the current moment, daddy can't do shit. He's black. And in America, that's a death wish. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, depending on what you're trying to talk about. And we just kind of know the history of America and a lot of the things that what that brings about. So, and then just through visual, representation of what we see, like you just explained the scenario. It's like anybody wanting to stand up, raise up, have to be, looked at as, man, I could possibly get assassinated behind this. So when you decide to take on that lead, you're basically saying, I'm ready to die. Or willing to die. Let me fix that. Willing to die. You know what I mean? So that's crazy.
That's true.
To me, that's crazy. So
you're saying you got to judge whatever cause you're willing to give of yourself, that much.
right,
Toward.
and and I mean, so people ask, well, Martin Luther King had a whole movement around him. Malcolm X had a whole movement. He had a lot of other positive black men around him, and women. I'm sorry, let me not just make it gender specific. Black men and women around him, and no one stepped up or rose, you know what I'm saying, to pick up where he left off. And then you was like, oh, well, we had Jesse Jackson, we had Al Sharpton, we had these people, but they went so far, and then it was just like it's like, I ain't ready to die about nothing like this. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then
And that's because, like we just said, they didn't, after the image that they saw, people were pretty much scared into submission.
Right.
And so therefore they didn't want to take that chance on jumping out there and risking life and limb.
Yeah.
You know.
So I mean, it's just kind of, and that's where unity comes in. That's what numbers come in. You know what I'm saying? But it's you always had that chance. It's like, well, yeah, it could be 1,000 of us, but what if they hit me? You know, like, you know what I'm saying? So,
Well, let's talk about it on a little lighter note, because it's easy for me to go real heavy with the whole thing. Let's think about it on a lighter note when you have people that right around you that are doing cruel things, and they're doing cruel things, and that their intentions to mislead you or mislead a friend or somebody around you is just not there. How do you handle those type of people who you can just look at? You're like, what is your problem? You know that they trifling.
Oh, so you mean like being a single father and then like having a baby mama that's just being completely unreasonable with you, or a baby daddy that's being completely unreasonable with you, and that's what you're talking about? That's what you getting
I'm
at?
talking about stuff like that. Yes.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay. I figure I just put it in the context where people can, and it ain't got to be just focused on baby mamas and baby daddies. It can be friends.
But if you talk about baby mamas, baby daddies, what about the ones that lie? They lie to the other one. They say it's not the kid or it is the kid. And then even in the raising of the kid, they use the kid in different ways. And I mean, a lot of stuff goes into those cruel intentions when people intend to be ass clowns.
I got a scenario for you. I'll rip, because I done seen this happen before. Mm-hmm. You have these kids that lock in on one parent,
right,
from childhood to adulthood. Mm-hmm. Then they find the other parent, sit down and have a talk with them, and the proof is in the pudding, and they find out that the parent they was holding on to was really the fucked up one. About that. That changes things.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Then what? That's some cruel shit.
Right.
Yes,
it is. I'm gonna tell y'all this story. It's a little bit dark, but it's a real story. I watched my parents, it was my dad's friends from work, and he and his wife, they had 3 kids, and then the parents separated, but the kids ran between the 2 houses, and the kids learned how to manipulate the parents to do what they wanted to do. And what happened is the young kid had a falling out with one of the parents. I think it was the mother, and the father came over there, and an argument ensued, and he shot her and killed her. And so it's a very sad situation, but it was a manipulation that went down. Those kids were manipulating like crazy, and it resulted in the death of their own mother. What do y'all think?
Well, I think it's sad that somebody had to die.
Yeah.
It happens.
I'm sorry to take it dark again. Let's take it back lighter.
I thought that's what we was doing.
It could have
been. I mean, we talk about cruel and the baby's mamas, and let's talk about it, and we just went back into the depths of hell. I just was.
It was a story it was truly a cruel intention thing. I had to share that with you because it was a story that always made me angry, because I watched this family go through that, and we knew them personally.
Even with when it comes to kids, I don't think whomever kids, and even within the story, were planning for something like that would fall out. They knew the argument would have been had, or something would have probably eventually worked in their favor, because it could have been something simple. Well, such and such wanted a Nintendo DS, and I wouldn't buy it until maybe dad buy it for, you know, in that conversation
Right.
today. But the rest of it escalated just because there's no telling how long they've been arguing with each other. And then what transpired within that day or that time frame, you know, and
Right.
like we said, those quick decision makings concerning what was occurring, you know,
Mm-hmm.
acting out of anger, you're gonna cause a lifetime worth of pain. And it
Right.
doesn't necessarily mean that the adult suffers, but the kids suffer in the long run.
Right.
That's
So
right.
Yeah, but
That's
yeah,
right.
even though people know that and they hear it, you know what I'm saying? Some people just don't care. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And they don't. I just know in my time, serving, I got to points where people made me so mad, and everybody like, oh man, you need to keep your head, you need to keep your head. And I felt like whooping somebody's ass was worth everything I was about to lose. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm being honest. I'm being
Right.
honest. Now, when I go back and look at it, man, like that would have been that would have been the wrong thing. You know what I mean? Like the totally wrong thing as far as, fast forward and where I'm at now. But like it's just like, but at that moment and in that point in time, I felt like it was worth it. Like, and I'm talking about like, see, what is it? Tried, true, and tested. You know what I'm saying? Signed, sealed, delivered.
Everything
It was worth
everything
it.
would
Right.
have been justified, huh?
Yes,
Right.
yes, you know what I'm saying. So, and I'm not saying that to necessarily debate you, but I'm just saying like it's some people that knowing those things that they know, they still is like, nah, they finna get the business. You know what I'm saying? But what I did want to bring up was cruel intentions. Basically, could just be tied to hate, jealousy, and
Yeah.
hate.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Jealousy and hate, like because remember we said it earlier, ain't no need to do all of that. Like in
Right.
Right.
relationships, what you mad for? What you walking around in
Hmm.
tree branches for? You know what I'm saying? Like what you like,
Peeking through the window, buying a house across the street, like what you doing?
I just try to keep it relevant to what was in the tea, you know what I'm saying? But but like, just let it go. But like, man, it's jealousy and jealousy, hurt, and hate.
Right.
You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Which drive people to do that. Because y'all know it. Go ahead. Y'all got it.
Right. Right. I mean, but
Yeah.
that is true. I think every one of us in our own way have walked in on our walk and someone just hate you for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
They have showed you for the yes, they have taken the time to
Looking at you
show
like
you.
that. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
for
Here,
absolutely no reason.
here his bald head ass come
And
up
they,
in here.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
like they ain't happy until you feeling bad and sad, and they're
Right.
like, "Oh, let me give you a hug."
Right.
No, I don't want your hug because I know it ain't real. It's
And what about the
like go
ones that I'm
for
gonna
it.
say this to y'all?
God,
I'm
no.
gonna go get my co-host right. What about the
He
ones that
come.
say they think they something? You think you
Right.
something?
He
I am
think he's
something,
somebody.
fool.
Right.
It
Yeah.
Wow.
just be a trip because it's sad when you find out the real reasons behind all the hate and all this stuff.
And it
And it's
be
like,
nothing.
and it be like, you really didn't have to do all that. Like, you just was understanding the whole situation differently. It's like
Yeah. You saw
you
it
were
through a
focusing
different
on,
set
Jealousy.
of lenses. You saw it through a
yeah,
different set of lenses. Yeah.
Right.
focusing on the one
Jealousy.
wrong thing. Like, it makes no sense. You ain't gotta hate me that hard. And then you looking at yourself like, what are they really hating? What did I
Right.
really do wrong? You
Why you
questioning
wanna
your head,
play
but it's like,
that on me? Y'all remember that song?
Yeah.
yeah,
Sorry.
What
Sorry,
about
but
the
no, go
fact
ahead.
that some people can see your talents and your good before you see it, and they hate on
Yeah.
yeah,
you?
Yeah.
yeah,
He
yeah.
They see things
she
before
gonna be
you see
she
it.
gonna be successful. Just
Yeah, when you
And
hear it
how
out
can
loud,
I
it's
stop it?
real elementary. Like, really? Like, that's what
so
you
it's
like.
she over here trying to get an education and shit. You know what I mean? Like just mad, like
They be mad.
What are you trying to be smarter than me? Like,
Yes. And that is the truth that people will go through just exorbitant activity to try to stop you instead of putting that energy into their own life because they don't believe in themselves.
She done went and got an oil change. What the hell?
Now her car running better than mine.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But they do it. They do
it.
It
Can go an extra couple of miles.
Hey. She got 3,000 more miles on her stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
it is just pathetic how people feel that.
Nah, but you know what?
Yeah.
I can't. I don't know. Man, I don't even have an answer for that. Like, you can't even. I can't even come up with nothing. That's it. That's the only thing you would have to call it. Like jealousy and envy, and it's just like, what made them focus in on you and hate you, or be envious or whatever of you, to where it brings about negative vibes and negative energy towards you from that individual. Like how what the hell did you do?
Right.
You know what I mean? And half the time the people don't even know they did nothing.
Yes. Yeah. That's gonna be my question to you all now, because I have to go. We like to talk about how something has happened, and would like to help our audience about what you do about it. I really want to know, when you see this happening to you and people being this way with you, how is it that you handle it to where you can still function in the situation when a person is bent out of shape, not liking you just because you're being you? So how do you handle that and move on in your life and in your world when you clearly see that happening with someone?
Cut them off. Plain and simple. Like, you can't, there's something you can do about somebody else's feelings for you in any regard. I'm having to learn this now. You can't change how other people feel about you. You can't change other people's perception about you, whether they're your friend, your foe, family members, anything. You can't change that. But what you can do is try to love them. For me, I just went through this. Ask for forgiveness if I have done something to offend you or whatever, and leave the situation at that. Try to part ways amicably, like Mike said earlier, and it's gonna hurt. Yeah, true enough, because the understanding is not there as to exactly what happened and why. But sometimes it's not meant for you to understand, because then you will turn a different way, because instead of you not understanding, you're gonna get angry, because like Margo said, it needs to come to that, because what I can do, you can do also, and if you can't, then I can show you how. So and so if we're gonna part ways, let's just do it, on the right terms or whatever, and just call it quits. But when I know that somebody is not for me, I can't be around them. It doesn't matter if they're my friends, my family. I will cut anybody off. Right. That's just I don't want you in my space.
Right.
I like that. That is absolutely true. Because a lot of times it doesn't get any better.
No,
it don't.
It keeps being stagnant or go further downhill. It don't get better.
Yep. And I've had that happen with a friend. Well, she was like my sister, literally like my sister. I took her into my home when I was doing bad myself, and I found out later. I found out that not only was she trying to be like me, she was literally telling people that we had the same father, and like I met her in high school. Like she was telling people we had the same father. She was telling people that I was a witch. And it got really bad. Like I had to put her out of my house like overnight. Her and her kids.
Doing too much.
It was bad. And like she was literally like my sister. And I have no clue where all that hate, all that jealousy came from, because we were in the same boat basically. But yeah,
it's just crazy.
It could be simply the fact that you were it could be something simple as you the way you was handling it. You know what I'm saying? It could just be your coping mechanism, your willpower, you know what I'm saying, your strength to you know what I'm saying, to carry on. And people are envious of those things, you know. And it's crazy because, like she said earlier, is people see your talent, see your good works before you do. Other people can look at you and see the way that you do and operate. They see how people respond to you, and they're like, "Whoa, this person is this." Like in the military, once, you know, that's where I picked it up, where I learned this from. You know what I'm saying? You could be a young, lower ranking individual, and a high ranking person just automatically have a dislike of you because of your potential. And then that person is threatened. You know what I mean? Who is this person coming in here? And everybody goes to them when they should be coming to me. You know what I mean? And so I'm just using that because that's what I learned it from. But that can happen in life. Like, man, look at this person out here flourishing and prospering and shit. You know what I'm saying? Being all positive, making change. You know what I'm saying? Getting their all change. You know what I mean? Like, or whatever. You know what I mean? And they can see that, man.
It's still just a lot of you know, where they're focusing their time and their energy and their, you know, your thoughts and all that other stuff. It's like sometimes you got to get out of your head and your feelings, and then what are your actions? You definitely got to start feeding, because you everybody has both the good and the bad, but which one of them you choose to feed more will flourish more. So you need to feed that positive more. And see, that's the thing. That's the biggest fight, is keeping that positivity, because everybody's trying to zap that from you if they have it within themselves, or if they don't, or if they just need a little bit more. But it's like people give that to each other, and some people try to take it from you. So, you know, because it's looking like it's damn near extinct out here. But like Tanya said, the situation she went through the other day, it was giving her faith back in, you know, people being genuine and being kind. So definitely got to keep trying to put that out there. If you have it in you, push that out there. Give that. I definitely shoot to do that with the little people that I work with, because, you know, I'm like, we're not gonna get nowhere with y'all arguing all the time, and everybody
can't argue, Margo. What are we arguing about?
Hey, I go at them.
It can be somebody came and swiped the puzzle piece, and I need it back to finish my puzzle because Miss Brown told me to put it up. But it'd be like, I'm like, we I don't understand. What is that? Yeah. You know, you have words. If you don't have
who
words,
she thinks she is trying to put this puzzle together?
Like, yeah. It even be because somebody looked at me. It'd be arguments. They looking at me. I'm like, well, they have eyes, and they eyes work. So everybody eyes could look everywhere if they want to, long as they not touching you. You are good. So I'm definitely seeing a lot of, and it's like a lot of people lacking a lot of social emotional, you know, how to deal with that stuff when they get to that place. That anger and all.
I take it to them.
So
my experience is I take it to them. No, I'm just saying my experience is I take it to them. Right. You know, when I feel the energy or the vibe is off, I just go straight. You know, I go to them, say, man, I did something to you, and I'm like, this is exactly how it happened. Say, man, I did something to you. Whoa, what's going on? What you mean? I'm just saying, like, you know, we was vibing and we're talking, the energy's off, man. You know what I'm saying? Blah blah blah. Everything straight. You know what I'm saying? We good. Well, you know, and then based off of their response from that, because most people are like, no, man, we good, fam. I didn't even know we had beef or something like that, and then they start trying to clear it up, right? If not, you get them people that's kind of like, well, and you can feel it, you can sense it in that moment right there. You can tell, and you just be like, oh, okay, just want to come in and make sure we were straight, because I can feel something off. And then from there, you'll see it. From there, the fact that you address them and everything else, you'll see it. They're gonna avoid you like the plague. Or they're gonna come to you and be like, "Hey man, I'm sorry you felt that way." They're gonna try to clear it up. So if they got good intentions, they're gonna try to clear it up. If they got cruel intentions, they're gonna stray away.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's true.
Or they're gonna add more fire to that flame they got.
Right. But that's my approach though. That's my approach. It may work for some, it may not, but that's how I was handling it. And I may have been wrong in 2 left feet.
Like Mike, now you gonna come and try to be all nice and try to clear it up and stuff. I don't like that, man.
I'm thinking about Margo talking about the little people. Maybe we need to go back and borrow the concepts of what you tell the little people, because we got the big people acting like the little ones. You know what I'm saying?
You can learn a lot from kids. You learn a lot from kids.
I learn every day a new way to teach and all that other stuff.
Yeah,
and
you learn a lot from kids.
It's a trip, and it just and all the conversation and the words you use and how you inflect, how you push them towards the kids. Because when you start seeing it being picked up and being used and applied, it definitely makes everything run a whole lot smoother. So it's just about, especially when there's disagreement or stuff like that. It's like, well, did you go and ask? Did you ask this way? If you don't know how to, here, I'm gonna model the words for you, and then you just copy what I say. Blah, 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 and it goes on down there. And then the next time it happens, they might rethink and be like, hey, let me use this. And it goes.
And how old are they again?
3, 4, and 5.
Okay.
So
a lot of people are still on that age. Yep.
Hey, I'm going to the next time I get into it with somebody. Hey, we can share this. You just do what I do, and I'll share it with you. That's how it works. Yeah. Tell you. No, I'm being funny, man. But I'd pay to spend a day in that classroom, because believe it or not, man, kids can take you. The simplest thing that they do, or that you see, or that you witness, can teach you so much about life that you probably forgot about or didn't even consider. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what? Now that Bridget is here, let's get our shot again. We'll get our shot again, because I want to add Bridget into the post. And so y'all go ahead and get the smiling for me. Oh, what are you doing?
Being silly, like, you know what I'm saying? Just being silly.
Trying to beef up that chest like Papa.
Let me give a good side.
Let's see what the camera picked up on that. Let me see what my camera picked up on that.
Oh no! Did you take a picture? You were taking pictures for real?
I sure was. I sure was.
Let's see. Have me looking like
it's a good one. It's a good one.
I only look. Hey, y'all heard her. Y'all heard her holler. So I know the picture all fucked up.
It's a good one. It's a good one. Oh, I'm gonna have to add this one. Oh, hell yeah.
Should have stayed with Snoop.
Yo, picture would have been better if he just.
The picture would have been better. I know that's right. I can't wait to add this one now. Oh yes. But I speaking of cruel intentions, we deal with it every week. Why do we got these keyboard? For what reason we got keyboard sounds
every week?
We do this show.
Like, what are y'all trying to do? What is y'all?
Now the question is, do you think it's a StreamYard thing?
It sounds like it, because did you all hear it last night? Didn't we hear it last night?
Yeah.
Yeah, we heard it last night.
It was there. So
I'm gonna have to have that talk. This platform ain't free, so I'm gonna have that talk. We gotta have that talk about why their the keyboard sound is in there. But back to our programming. Just had to take that break for a moment and see what all the hell is going on. But you know something? We always like to leave people with a little suggestions, and I think we have been pretty much making suggestions all night as to how to deal with uh, cruelty and cruel intentions, and so actually, before I bring in some more information, how do you all suggest right offhand how to deal with cruelty in society?
Well, I'm gonna pass and come back around to it.
Detach and get off the grid. No, I'm just playing. But no, just choose to feed the positivity and make sure that your
Ain't
intentions are
nothing wrong with that.
make sure your intentions are genuine, regardless of what other people, because
Right,
it's time wasted to pay so much attention to that anger and negativity. It's so much time
right,
wasted. You could have been using it doing something else better and positive too. Promoting and pushing yourself to be better. So
right.
I see that.
So the
Bridget,
one thing my
yeah.
mom,
Okay, there you go.
I said the one thing my mom always told me was that you're not responsible for what other people do to you, but you are responsible for what you do. So you can't help or change what other people do or say or feel or think, but you can change your perceptions, your biases. You can change how you feel, how you think. You can only control yourself. And so
Right,
with that, I try to take that and apply it as best I can. Sometimes it doesn't work. Some days I fail miserably. Um, but I have kids to let me to remind me, hey mom, like why can't I do this if you do this? So it really brings me back to, like you said, learning. It brings me back to a place of, okay, well, I got kids watching me, so I can't do this, or I can't say this, or I can't, act this way.
Yeah.
uh-huh.
Because if I tell them not to do it, then they're gonna be looking at me like a hypocrite. So
Mhm.
I and it happens. It really does happen. Like Margaret said,
Right.
I'm learning from my kids every day. Like I have to self reflect a lot dealing with
Right.
them, especially Jeremiah. He's the oldest because he'll come in, tell me real quick, Mom, I heard you cuss. Why can't I cuss? Like, well, spell the cuss words you're trying to say. And so he's gotten smart enough to where he learned all the cuss words and how to spell all the cuss words. So it's like, well, I know him, Mom. I know him now, Mom. Can I say him? No, Jeremiah, you can't say him. You still can't say him. So yeah, when it come down
You
to it,
You did what you
I
said.
he did what I said
yeah.
he did. But he still can't do it. So
Right.
for me, on the topic of cruelty, I try my best to live a life where I'm mindful of what I do and how I do it. Like I said,
Okay.
sometimes I fail, sometimes I don't, sometimes I get it right, sometimes I don't. But it's a learning process and a growing process. So
Right. I got you there. I got you
Yeah. So,
there.
I
so when
second everything she said. Everything she said, I ride everything that she said because I learn from the kids. You have to learn from the kids. If you don't, and you get out there and you do something stupid, they're gonna see that you're out there doing. They feel like they can do it too. So
yep.
right.
Got you.
So when I
Got you.
look up, according to Merriam-Webster dictionary, cruel itself, disposed to inflict pain or suffering, devoid of humane feelings. You know what I'm saying? That's just one. And then the second one is basically causing or conducive to injury, grief, or pain. So when you look at that, I mean, that's disposed to inflict pain. Somebody trying to inflict pain upon thee. You know what I mean? And then they're trying to cause you to suffer, right? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Or they're trying to, causing you injury,
Go
grief,
on, preacher.
or pain. So when you look
well,
at that, that's somebody's intent. How do you get around that? How do you handle that? You know what I mean? Like, yo, you trying to hurt me. Like for real, like you trying to inflict pain upon me because I got 3,000 miles or 3 months on my oil change. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, really, like, is it that serious? But being back to seriousness, but like, man, I ain't got no time for you and your. Come on, y'all know the song, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But the question I have is more so, even if the person is trying to inflict, have cruel intentions, but how do you take or handle somebody that's doing that towards you, but then they try to flip it and saying like you're trying to do something or manipulate them?
Now you wrong.
So it's like they trying to play a victim too.
That's a toxic person.
It's like it's throw, because it's like they mental thing is off.
Sound like
it's like you thinking I'm trying to do something towards you, so that's why you're doing it towards
like
me. Like what the?
That sounds like a malignant narcissist.
No.
And there ain't shit you can do with a malignant narcissist.
I think it depends on if it becomes physical. It might get physical.
There's nothing you can do with the malignant narcissist.
It just might get physical
except get away from them.
I mean, she on some violent shit here.
Run.
Tell us how I get physical, girl. I'm interested. Come on.
It might get physical because
I'm just saying, because that's the weirdest thing when you experience that, and then it'd be like, well, like I'm doing this because I think you're doing like I don't got no time for that. That ain't what I'm
right.
That's not how I'm moving. Like
if you try to walk away and it get worse, you're gonna try to walk away and it's gonna get worse. They'll keep trying to push you. Then that's when it's really gonna get physical. And then you're gonna be like, well, I should have done that. Yeah. Well, you couldn't help it because they're gonna take it. You're gonna walk away, but they're gonna still come by and keep pushing you.
Yeah,
and that's where things get justified. Yeah, and you're willing to throw away your whole life just for a simple ounce of payback.
Like I said, it does not pay. It really does.
I must have had cruel intentions over here because that damn picture won't work right. But I'm gonna put it up there anyway.
Exactly.
I'm still putting it up there anyway.
But no, man, like when you look at life itself and everything that we have gone through, whatever you went through is getting to the point you at now, the recent things we're dealing with, and who Lord knows what the hell we got to deal with in the future. You ain't got time for it. You know what I mean? So like Lil Mama said earlier, she said, Bridget said earlier, sorry about that. Cut. You know what I'm saying? Like they say, action scene, cut out of there. Let's just go and cut that out. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no time for you and your boo. You know what I mean? And everything else. And dismiss that because you got other things to worry about than somebody's plan to try to cause you suffering or inflict pain on you. You know what I'm saying? Right. Bye. Mm-hmm. Thank you for the good times that we had, and then the ones that we're not gonna have no more. Appreciate you. Thank you. Bye.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Michael, every time you sing it, and I think about the song that you're making up, and I have to say this. I hope that you're gonna do that song seriously. The one that
okay. Yeah.
That kind of country flavor. I hope you do it seriously. Because I'm gonna have some cruel intentions towards you
if you don't.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be good.
It'll be a nice little project.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And Jimmy Allen showed on my screen 2 times today.
Because you said his name.
To me. Yeah.
You said his name. You typed it or said it. You said it.
Yeah.
They listening.
2 times.
These people ain't typing on here for nothing.
No,
they on
he
your
was
ass.
on 2 shows. He was on 2 shows. He was on Wendy's show this morning, and he turned around and he was on something again that I saw later in the day. I saw him 2 times today, and I said, "Wow,
yeah,
it's out there."
I told you the universe.
That should be a sign to you.
Yeah, universe. Alignment and assignment. Alignment and assignment. I understood the assignment. Ain't that song the girl
Well, you know what? Let me give this to y'all real quick before we in the living room. 7 tips to survive a seemingly cruel world. Okay, I'm gonna jump right into it. Number one, this is one thing that you all talking about at the top of the show. Yourself. In times of high stress like these recent ones, it's vital that you take time for yourself to sit and reflect on what's been happening. When the world feels too big and too much and too loud, you need to wrap yourself in 3 blankets, snuggle up with your favorite stuffed animal, snacks, and put on something fun or comfortable for you to watch. It's a long time to compartmentalize and process the world and its events because you need to realize that you can't help everyone or solve every problem. And sometimes that is really harsh reality for people to handle, and that's okay. Take some time just for you to relax and remember that everything, one way or another, will eventually be okay again. And I got to give that to myself. That's the advice for me to right now. And this article is on theodysseyonline.com, by the way. So what do y'all think about that one? Yeah, I think kind of talked about it earlier. It takes time for yourself. Mike, you're mute.
It's one of them things where they want you to snuggle up under a blanket.
They said there's 3 blankets.
Three,
I mean, everybody got their own way. Everybody got their own way of doing it, So.
Yeah, it's just kind of hard to kind of like, it's not now that what I think about snuggling up under a blanket. It could be very nice if it's cold outside.
Oh no, the whole point is just take time to yourself. Whatever your thing is. Some people like me, when I go downstairs at night, I do take a blanket, because that's the open room and it tends to get chilly in there. So I do snuggle up under my blanket and watch something, and that's my time to relieve my mind away from the world of everything that I had happened on that day. Mm-hmm. So however you do it, I
get a spoon. I get a spoon and some Bluebell.
What's your favorite flavor?
Hey, Margo, your microphone works.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No.
But what flavor? What's your favorite flavor?
Oh man, it's one called Bride's Cake that comes out kind of seasonally. Right. And then there's one mocha almond fudge. It's kind of a coffee almond mocha almond fudge and Bride's Cake.
Yeah, that's
one thing I miss about Texas, because I mean we have Bluebell here, but we don't have Bluebell like in a way y'all have Bluebell in Texas. I mean, it's here.
Yeah, we rep that Bluebell though. That little gold rim. Yeah.
I will never forget when I first moved to Texas, and my dad took us to Brenham, and I actually got a chance to be there and see the creamery and stuff.
Go to the creamery, yeah.
Yeah, and that was like the neatest thing ever. So I actually have that love for that Bluebell based on that. But here, I don't even know what we eat. We just eat ice cream. It could be, what kind is
butter
it that
pecan.
I eat?
Butter pecan and pralines and cream, baby.
There you go. My brother.
Yes. I like my butter pecan. I see pecan. Y'all see pecan. I like my butter pecan with
that's either way.
Yeah,
mint chocolate chip. Mint chocolate chip.
Yeah. Oh my God, you and Lizzie.
Mint chocolate chip.
I'm not putting mint in anything. No.
My youngster likes that one. I don't. He'll do that and do pistachio.
Here's a crazy.
Lizzie loves that. I hate it.
I'm originally from Philadelphia. I was born in Philadelphia and everything, but I do love a peach. I love a peach. Everybody be saying, Veronica, are you from Georgia? No. I just love peaches. I love peach.
Okay.
I eat peach ice cream.
I tell you,
I love it.
Really? My favorite Bluebell is, I know that's right. My favorite Bluebell is banana pudding. That's my favorite ever.
Yeah, I love the Bluebell, the banana pudding. The banana pudding.
Yeah, it's good.
Is it peaches and cream? Take his peaches and cream.
Mike, you all right
and
over
the
there?
cotton candy.
I am,
Oh.
man.
The cotton candy.
I'm staying PG-13. I'm gonna just keep it PG-13. We good.
See?
That's why he had to turn the camera off, because I know what he was
Exactly.
thinking. That's where the camera went off.
Crazy, but well, you know what? Let me go on to number 2, y'all, and see what else they got.
Come back,
don't
Michael.
Don't take the advice to heart. It may be a different type of individual that wrote it. So yes, that's all. Okay, number 2. Recognize the good in the world. When you're secluded in a completely dark room, it feels like the walls are closing in on you. You're impossible to find any kind of light. That's why you have to stumble your way around and find the light switch. You have to go out and seek stories and articles of good things people and groups of people do to help everyone on this blue dot. And then they shared a blog that if you want to look at a blog and kind of get a reason to smile in this whole thing, but recognize the good in the world. That's the number 2. Anything on that before I move on?
Now, that just reminds me of some things that we learned, you know, in the military, where they have a whole resiliency campaign, and they tell you the Army used to call it hunting the good stuff, and you know, and we basically is counting your blessings, right? Is what we called it. So, you know, finding that silver lining and trying to find the silver lining in all things that come to you in a negative fashion. Sometimes you ain't there. You know what I mean? And you have to accept that. Sometimes it ain't there. Sometimes things just suck. You know what I mean? And you just take it for what it is. Man, this sucks. This really chaps my hide, as they say in that old commercial. You know what I mean? But accept it. Let it chap your hide, and then move on. You know what I mean? So
yeah. I mean, as I do this article, I'm actually saying it to myself, you know, the therapy that I need right now. And how I'm feeling right now. So, you know, it makes sense. It makes sense to me. All right. Number 3, give back. Staying up to date with events can show you that certain people and certain organizations are really struggling. If you're enraged that some institute or another has been defunded, or I don't know, some basic human has been threatened, organizations, and if you can't donate because you're in college or trying your best to make ends meet as is, then simply give back by doing one random act of kindness. Help someone with their groceries, pay for someone's meal behind you in the fast food line. Love and accept everyone, and I promise it'll be a lot easier to live on this planet. Give back. What do y'all think?
And that could be something as simple as expressing gratitude. You know what I'm saying? You'd be surprised by having a simple conversation with somebody that seems to have it out for you. When you have a conversation with them and let them know where you stand, they'll be like, "Oh, damn, I'm tripping for nothing." Like, you know what I mean? Or they might just hate you a little bit more. You know, it could go both ways, but at least you cleared the air, right? And so at least you cleared the air, and you know the problem ain't you, and then they know the problem ain't you. So whatever they dealing with, like as Tom would like to tell me, that's a you problem, not a me problem. You know what I'm saying? So,
you know what else is good? Is like when you get saying about giving back. You ever somewhere in a store and you could tell a person is kind of closed off and that they may even be going through something, and you just have a conversation with them, and it feels like they're so happy that you spoke and that they have a chance to speak too, and just that fellowship, you could tell it's good for them. But when you take that extra step and you tell a person who you can tell they're not feeling that good about themselves, and I'll say things like, "Oh, look at you, pretty girl," and you could see their whole demeanor just lighten up
Right.
because somebody
Yeah,
said
especially if it's
something.
if it comes from a stranger, because they definitely didn't expect it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
And you could tell it just brightens her demeanor, and you're not being phony with it. You're being upfront in saying
Mhm.
things that, especially we as women, in our little Cinderella complex that they placed us in to be competitive with one another, like the stepsisters in Cinderella, we don't exactly
Mhm.
always give another woman her props and her flowers. And so sometimes you step out there and you say, "Oh, you look wonderful, it's beautiful, it's pretty," or whatever, just to lift her up. And you just got to do that every now and then because that's worth more than money sometimes for people. Just lifting them up is worth more than anything
Mhm.
sometimes.
B.L. Fredrickson has this model, this broaden and build theory. It's a theory rather, broaden and build theory, where positive emotions or positive effects, undo or outweigh negative emotions. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? You ever had somebody that's just kind of been bitter, sour, and then you just overflow them, or you know what I'm saying, with positivity, jokes, and laughter, and they're trying to be
Right.
sour, like, man, y'all, man, yeah, and then they end up laughing and stuff.
Yes.
So you know what I
Yes.
mean. So, but yeah, that's
Yeah.
somebody put some science and some research behind it, and they came up with a whole broaden and build theory. So, you know what
Yep.
I'm saying? Yeah.
I used to do that to my sister. Yeah, Veronica, I used to do that to Renita, where she would be all grumbling and fussing about something, and then I would come back and I'd be like, girl, shut up. We're gonna go do this, da, 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 da. And then she would come out of that and just come
Right.
into this
Yeah.
whole different demeanor, you know what I'm saying?
Or just
Because she
say
knew
something
then
to
I
her and
was
make her laugh
right.
or something.
Yeah, she knew I was riding with it then. So then she just changed her whole demeanor, you know. Sometimes I
I be
can't
like,
talk to
yo, Renita, you remember that dude we
her.
met? That cross-eyed dude. Dude be like, girl, won't he ugly?
Go. Oh.
Yeah, that sounds like you
So
on
she
it.
get back herself.
Yeah, so sometimes you just do that and you brighten a person just based on your words. And if you want to, you can give them something physical or what have you. But the words that can do a million things. Okay, number 4, appreciate what you have. Things are changing and they're changing fast, and a lot of people are afraid. This person says, I know I am. I have to say, this person says, I know I am because I personally know I'm not. I feel good about things changing. Okay, and we're all affected with what's happening, what's been happening lately. And it doesn't need to mean personally affected, doesn't mean, and it doesn't need to mean personally affected. It just means affected as human beings. I didn't get that straight. It was written kind of
Yeah,
weird.
put that cup down.
No, it's just really kind of weird. No one can foresee what will happen. So hold the people and the things that you have chose. I'm sorry, that you have close. Shut up, Michael. Love the people in your life and appreciate the little things because there's no guarantee that you'll have those things tomorrow. And that is so
Right.
true. No day is promised. No day is promised to any of us. And so we have to appreciate the people we have, the things we have, the life we have, everything, because anything can change in the course of a day. In the course of a day. Let me move on because this one's a little hard. Okay. Number 5, stay informed. Oh gosh, I gotta come back from that because I was just really emotional for a moment there. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back. Okay, stay informed. Even if it's stress inducing, you need to also find time to keep in touch with recent events. Stay informed. That way, you can better handle the situations as best you can. Stay informed to be able to talk to people about news. Always make sure your news source is incredible. Then don't look at the regular news. poor by cities. Most most importantly, do not let the media or the government try to force feed you their lies. Oh, that's a good one. Never accept alternative facts as the truth. I say that's wrong. And stay informed, kids. I'm picking through y'all little article on the Odyssey. Okay, what do y'all feel about that? Staying informed.
Yeah, I
What do y'all
like
feel?
trying to stay informed, but then I like trying to stay informed about current events, but a lot of times it will get so overwhelming, like
Mm-hmm.
just being flooded with bad news after bad news after bad news after crazy, something crazy, to the point where I'll just check out. Like I'd rather watch
Yeah.
reruns than to keep watching the news just because you don't see anything positive. Like they'll try to put in a clip or two of a cute dog or a cute baby doing something, but sometimes when you're being
And then
flooded with bad news after bad news, then the little cutesy stuff doesn't matter because they just
Right,
told you,
exactly.
something
Exactly.
crazy or horrible, and that's what your mind is stuck on. Now you're stuck on, the fear in your own home, or something relating to that topic, or trying to figure out how you're gonna survive if the worst should happen. Um, so it makes no time for you to really just see the light or see the good in what you're seeing. Like, and of course, we know that a lot of times they're lying to us or withholding the truth. So
Right.
I'll just check out. So I'll pass on that one.
I, I'm like that too. I can only do so much news. Like I'll get a couple of stories of this, that, and the other, but after a while, it does become real heavy, and then it'd be like, okay, put this down, clear this off. Go outside, go see what's happening in your neighborhood or what you can do, around town that day to kind of pick it up and lighten the load because it's so much. That's what I'm saying. You're fighting to keep the positivity and the good in you versus feeding, the other negative half, within yourself because everybody has both of those.
Yeah. Well, when
It's
you
how
like
much
stay,
which one you choose to feed the most. What plant you choose to water is the one that's gonna grow.
yeah,
That's true.
when you like trying to stay informed and like when you look at stuff, I mean, you just scroll. If you on social media, you scroll, you see stuff, you see story after story after story. But do we tend to focus on the bad stuff because it captures our attention based on the good? And I'm just asking people to be honest. When you scrolling, do you stop and focus on those good articles, or do you kind of roll to see what you know what I'm saying, the juicy stuff is? You know what I'm saying? And then you
To
end
my
up,
mood.
kind of overloading your stuff with negativity. I
Yeah.
do know that this though, the media puts certain things out there because that's what grabs attention and gets the ratings up. In Korea, they don't even broadcast the criminals. I mean, they may hit on some major things that's just unavoidable, but for the most part, they don't get the publicity. You know what I mean? So that sense of fear of going, like I'm staying in the house. It's crazy out there. Now they out in full effect. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the dumb stuff or the silly stuff don't even get attention on the news. You know what I mean? They just kind of avoid kind of showing that stuff, and the cops pretty much handle that. Of course, they got CCTV everywhere, so it's hard to do anything there. You know what I mean? But that's kind of one way to kind of look at it. In America, you're gonna get the business though. You gonna see everything. And just like on some of the social media platforms, you can't say certain things, but they'll show you, which what I saw today, right before the show, some ride at some theme park, a 14-year-old kid fell off the damn ride. And whoever was filming it caught the boy falling and hit in the ground.
Oh,
Mm.
God.
You know what I mean? And it's all on social media, and I'm not trying to disrespect the family or nothing, but like, how does that play on social media?
It's
I'm
horrible.
talking about graphic everything, and they put the little thing on there, sensitive material. But why is that allowed?
Right. Oh, I don't
You know
know
what I
if
mean?
anybody heard about this, but there was an incident where a person was committing suicide here in Atlanta, and they jumped on the tracks of the metro train, and then they changed their mind and tried to get back up, and the train cut them in half, and they had it all filmed, and it was right there on social media. And I was like,
Wow.
how do you put that on social media? And
then it has millions of views. You know what I mean? And you're just like, well, okay, well, that's why the people put the stuff where they put it on, because and it's just like, I don't want to look at that, but I already seen it.
right,
Mm-hmm.
something that your eyes and your brain can't get rid of.
Yeah.
No matter how much you try, your eyes and your brain is not letting it go.
Right.
So
Right.
okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, surround yourself with who love you. You're going to need to focus on the happy and loving aspects in the world, because in every story and throughout history, love will always win over hate. In order to
Mm-hmm.
embrace this idea on a larger spectrum, you're going to have to surround yourself with love. Cut out the toxic people in your life. You don't need any more negativity, especially in regards to your social life. Have fun with the people you're around, laugh with them, and let love overwhelm the fear or anger you feel. After all, love does trump hate. What y'all thinking?
Yeah. Well, you got to find the people that love you.
That's
Right.
that part. That
I'm
part.
saying, you got to find
Yeah,
the people
that
that love you.
That part.
You know what I
Right.
mean? You definitely got to find them, because, and
yeah.
trying to be positive about it. You know what I'm saying? Naturally you would think that primary love is family. Uh,
Right.
Unfortunately, people have, weird family dynamics, and that's not always the case. So, we would like to think we know who our solid folks are, and then we can surround ourselves by them. But I mean, your network. You know what I mean? We all know our network, and
Right.
if you can, if you can put yourself around those folks that's in your network, that your trusted agents, as I like to call them, then albeit, you know what I mean, like, do so. But if not, if you got kids, they love you. You know what I'm saying? If you raising them, you know what I mean, and they love you. So
Do they? Do
yeah,
they
they do.
really?
They do.
Right.
And
Do they
sometimes,
really?
you know what I'm
Do they
saying?
like my money?
Yeah. So sometimes it be the kids that teach you the most powerful lessons, man. You know what I'm saying? Or bring stuff about you. So yeah.
Yeah. You know, I what I'm struggling with even right now is when I mentioned my sister just now. I think about everything that I'm going through right now. I don't think I would be going through it the same way if she, and especially my father here, because that kind of support system that they were to me and my mom, and just anytime, but especially now, I feel it differently. And so I think what I'm feeling right now is I'm, I, f- I know that that is still there, because I think I told y'all that the seer told me that my father's hands are on my shoulders guiding me. I don't know if he's still there, but at one time my father's hands were guiding me. And sometimes I don't exactly know where to go. And I'm trying different things right now, trying to find my way. But just the sadness that I feel right now is that I don't think that I would have been going through things the same way if they were still here. But I have to believe that their presence is there still helping. And it's
Mhm.
hard.
Yeah.
It's really tough. It's really tough. It's really tough right now. But I just have to believe that somewhere along the lines that they're still in some way there. But I'm gonna move on to number 7. Uh, always remember that it is perfectly fine to disconnect or disassociate. This has been my coping mechanism as of late. This is what the author is saying. The media is chock full of hate and anger and fear mongering. Oh, you just said that. Sometimes you need to take a break from it all for your own sake. Delete your Facebook app for a week or two. Don't engage in news sites every day. Make sure you limit yourself to only so much exposure every day or week or month. Disconnect from the negativity and remember to surround yourself with happiness and light. Because, as the great Albus Dumbledore said, happiness can be found in even the darkest times if only one remembers to turn on the light. Say that. I love that. I love that. Let me make sure they wake up my chihuahua.
Hopefully they paid their light bill.
I know, right? And
They
that
can
is-
still light a candle or a match.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? There you go. Yeah.
And that is to survive in a seemingly cruel world. I like that. That was a pretty good article. Again, that was on the odysseyonline.com. I know there's a few points at the beginning where y'all were like 3 blankets. So it did was a little different at the beginning, you know what I'm saying? But they got better as it went on. So hopefully you as the audience, y'all can relate, and that we help people to find ways to help them through the cruel society, and to get better in the cruel society. But I just really believe, as we said last week, as we venture into the Sarah and Jacera, and people start seeing the debt jubilee, and they start seeing all types of funds and differences, and they see these criminals being taken away. At first, people are not going to understand it, but when they see these criminals taken away and they see their lives improve, it's going to be a different world, and we're going to stop being a slave planet. Hallelujah. All right, y'all. Any parting words before we get out of this segment?
It's always we always have some parting words now.
I mean, before we get out of the segment, just the end of this segment. Anything about the cruel intentions before we get out?
Don't be cruel. Cause I would never be that cruel to you. Hey.
That was a jam at one time. That was a really jam. I was wondering how he was gonna be. I was interviewing a young man this week by the name of Jay Watts, who's like the new Bobby Brown. And I interviewed Bobby at the time he branched out on his own, and I was wondering how he was going to be. But I remember standing on the side of that that stage, and he broke out with Roni. I said, "Oh, that little cat right there, he's got this. He's got it." He went and killed it from there. When I saw all that gyration and all that singing, I didn't even know he could sing, and I was like, "Oh, damn, Bobby!" He really went. He did the damn thing. So I had said to the young man, I really hope that he goes out there and does his thing too, because they say his stage performance is a reminder of the Bobby Brown. I hear Mike over there. Okay, 8 seconds. Okay.
That was 8 seconds. That was 8 seconds. Okay, my bad.
You.
I just had to get out.
But no, that was good. Thank you. That was a little. That used to be the jam right there. I'm sorry. That was a jam. Any parting words on this subject or cruel intention for, whether or not we have become a cruel society? I believe that we can change it. What do you all feel? I feel like we can do better. We're going to do better.
Ain't got no choice.
We got no choice but get better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be tough,
Just
but
surround yourself in love, like you said. Surround yourself in love.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what I'm gonna do. Follow the love.
Exactly. Mike, you got anything?
I ain't got nothing, man. Just smile.
Mike got
and
the
be
music
happy.
now. Yeah. Mike got the music in his mind now.
like I actually look. I mean, I got it's so many things, but I did put out a TikTok video way long ago about if they ain't if you taking care of your business and somebody else, if they ain't paying the bills in your house, if they ain't tending to your kids or whatever you got going on, and they not contributing to your happiness or your lifestyle, F them. You know what I'm saying? F them straight up. Like, you know what I mean? And that's not even being cruel to them. It's just like you don't have time for that. It's too much other stuff going on in the world that you have to be worried about. You know what I mean? It's just
Bridget singing the Michael song. Did you hear it?
it's just
She came with that theme
it's
song.
too much. It's just too much. It's too much going on, man. And like, you know, our focus and attention is elsewhere. And depending on where you at in your life and where you coming from, you either trying to maintain or you trying to get to a certain point or you just trying to survive. You know what I mean? So, you know, all the other distractions, you know, is uncalled for. You know what I mean? So everybody, they stay in their own lane, as they say. And you shouldn't be worried about what's going on in nobody else. You can get to your destination safe and sound.
Amen.
Right, exactly. Exactamo. And with that, we're going to wrap the living room. Take our little break and come back and say so long, okay? All right, y'all, hang on. Well, that commercial was like real fast. See, that's what me and Rick always want to do, Mike. We always want to fist pump at the end of that.
Yeah, because that's when that beat kick in. That
I was thinking there was something we were talking about one time, and Rick said something about the club, and you start going, you started doing something.
Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all
something crazy that y'all were doing.
When I was stationed in Tampa and I broke out of going to the, you know, R&B hip hop clubs, and I went to my first techno, electro dance, electronic EDM, electronic dance music, I had the best time of my life. I was in there in the soap suds and the flashing lights, and I was in there just, I was just getting it. Look,
that's what all that was for, all them soap bubbles.
Look here, you ain't got to worry about dancing on beat because that strobe light make you look like you pop locking all night. You know what I mean? And like, ain't nobody judging you because everybody is either rolling, you know what I'm saying, or whatever they on. And look, I had a field day off in there. You know what I'm saying?
I know that's right.
Man.
But you know something? I felt without the strobe lights and stuff, y'all ever go to reggae club? Reggae club, they just be dancing their ass off, and you just dance and
sweat it in a motherfucker. I
mean, y'all gotta do a silent party.
You know
a silent party.
Where's
the headphones? Yeah. Because you'll be like, what are they listening to? You be watching folks be like, oh my God. But the coolest thing was doing one of those and then seeing what channels, what DJ they was listening to, and especially when everybody got into the wobble and it was all races doing the wobble. He was like, I know what DJ they listening to. So we all got the headphones on, joining in the dance at the same time. So it was pretty cool.
Like, yes,
Get in there.
Yeah. Yeah. All colors was learning how to do it that
Yes.
night.
Yeah.
So
I did not know that so many people across racial lines knew how to wobble.
She,
I
hey,
didn't
look
know
here.
that.
When he tell you to get in there, you gotta throw that foot in there and twist with it. Shit. Hey.
Yes. And I learned. I was at a party one time, and they were young and old, black, white, and they were wobbling. I was like, what? I was really shocked, but happy, you know. So everybody was dancing having a good time.
You think people gonna pass up a time, an opportunity to shake that thing, that tail feather? Shit.
That's right.
Everybody get this wobbling.
I know that's right. But y'all, we've come to the end of another AIL, and just want to see how y'all see 324. Oh, we about 3.5 hours, and so want to see how you all are going to handle this coming week. Now, Bridget, you came in late. You were at a performance for the kids and everything, and so you were at the whole performance thing got going on with the little young kids. Yeah, the talent show. So you tell us how that was and what you got coming up this week.
It was hilarious. Like from the very first show, the little girls came in, sung a song from Encanto. My daughter's in a song from Encanto also, the newest Disney movie, or one of the newest Disney movies. One of the three of the girls, they sung Miracle, and then Eleanor, she sung Lovely. They all did a wonderful job. Everybody was complimenting Ellie on her singing. And as soon as the babies got done, we jetted off. So I didn't get a chance to get no compliments. I didn't even care at that point. I was just ready to go.
Was it a long show?
But it was long. It was like 30 some odd kids.
Mm-hmm.
It was ridiculous. It was funny. It was so funny. I told you the picture that I sent y'all was of this little boy, little white boy. He was so dressed up so cute. And everybody was like, oh, when he came out just in this cowboy outfit. And as soon as the music came on, he started singing
Old Town Road. Yeah.
Old Town.
Gonna ride till it can't no more.
It was this old southern white guy in front of me, and as soon as he started singing the song, saw the voice start pop blocking and stuff, he just took his hand down like he got up and left. He was like, oh, I ain't doing this shit. He left. It was so funny. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
It was so funny.
Funny.
I mean, I loved it. Even the adults got up there, the teachers got up there and did their own performance and had songs from the early 90s to the 2000s era. It was good.
Right.
So yeah, that's how I ended my week. Yeah. That's how I ended it.
And I bet they've been practicing and performing and
everything. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. They've been dancing their little hearts out. One boy was up there doing Michael Jackson. Other little group of boys, they were doing Among Us. I guess it's a game out called Among Us. My kids play it, but they did a song. They made a song about Among Us, and these little 4 white boys got up there dancing, rapping, acting like they're rapping and carrying on. It was so funny. But yeah, it was good.
I told you,
it was a good time.
You learn a lot from kids. Because that's what grown folks need to be doing right now.
Right. Mm-hmm. Somewhere performing and laughing and enjoying. Yeah.
And having a good old time.
I lost some calories laughing. I definitely did.
I know that's right. I definitely know that's right. But thank you for making it in here, Bridget. I appreciate you.
I was trying my best. I really was.
Oh, you're fine. I mean, I can look and I know when you're doing stuff and performance and things like that. Shoot, little kids, something that might be meant to be 30 minutes might be 3 hours. So I get it 1,000%.
It was.
Yeah, I get it 1,000%. All right, Rock. What you got coming up this week?
Trying to get this house straight again. That's about it. It's something with this house every week. So, and hopefully and pray that helped my friend get his apartment together this week. He's
Okay.
getting a new apartment, so you
All
know,
right.
help
All
him
right.
decorate a little bit.
Okay. That's wonderful. All right, Ron. Thanks for being here. Margo, go. What you got? What you got coming up?
Hey, um, still for the most part, I think next week I'm just gonna run straight through it like Sonic or something. Just it's gonna be a blur.
Get
But
all the rings.
but yeah, get all the positive rings. That's what I'm gonna focus on. But just some more cleaning, clearing, organizing, trying to start something new, a new
Right.
chapter in my life with some good things. So that's what I'm um focusing on, and hopefully, things will lighten up and let up on the work end. But as far as family and kids, trying to do some more things, on that,
Right.
trying to
Right.
be around some more love, some more people, stuff like that.
Okay.
Where kids
Well,
say the
thanks,
darndest
Margo.
thing.
And then I might be sitting in a teepee somewhere with my legs Indian style and just chilling
Crisscross
with no sound.
applesauce.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
no,
know
I
that's
know
right.
crisscross applesauce, but, but yeah,
Oh, sure.
sitting somewhere in somebody's field and something,
Right.
just some personal time.
Yeah, just
hey
Let's,
man.
let's see what
yeah,
the 3, 4, and 5-year-olds got for you. Let's see
Mm,
what knowledge they could drop on you. And
yeah.
always remember that up until about age 7, Bridget, you remember this too. Up until about age 7, a lot of them know where they're from and they know who they are. So ask them those kind of questions. They say about age 6 or 7. I say no, I think it's about 6 or somewhere 5, 6. They start to forget where they're from. Some of them you can talk to them and they will tell you where they're from, what their name was, what happened. If you get them on that level and talk to them straight, they might tell you some things, but then they forget. We forget as we get older about what happened. So that's the magical age right there. And talk to them little people. They tell you some stuff.
Oh
I
yeah.
never forget. I never
Oh,
forget when I looked over at me and my little cousin. I went Christmas Day, and he looked over at me, and he said, "Giants!" And that's the ancestors were around me. He said, "Giants!" And he saw them there. And so they see stuff that we don't see. You know what I'm saying? We ain't used
yeah,
to see it.
yeah,
Our
they
eyes
do.
have been so tainted and everything. But them little folks, they can tell you where they from. Some of them don't know their name. They know their previous situations. Talk to them young folks. They tell you. What's your baby name, Bridget?
Josiah.
Go on, talk to Josiah about some
Hmm.
stuff. He tell you some stuff.
I am. I know he was
Get-
seeing angels the other day. He
really?
me and one of the kids was in my room and we were talking, and then all of a sudden he just pointed over to the wall, and when nobody else was there, and he just
Mm-hmm.
started pointing and looking all crazy. I'm like, I actually looked up there too, like trying to make sure I could see if I could see it myself. Like, oh, he talking to an angel over there.
Right. Somebody was
Tell
in
me you
that
need to
room.
sit down somewhere. They told you to sit down. That's what they did. They said sit down, Josiah. You know what I'm
I'm
I
talking
know,
about I
that's,
can't.
I know
Stop
that's
sliding on
right.
the floor, Josiah.
I know that's
Shoot.
right. But thanks for being here, Margo. Mike, Michael,
Yes.
turn them loose. What you doing this week, bro?
Schoolwork. I'll be doing schoolwork and trying to get as much information as we can for this nonprofit organization. So
Okay. Have you all
yeah.
decided your focus? Have y'all decided your focus yet?
Yeah, for the most part, but we got a meeting Thursday to kind of narrow it down even further, to go over the mission, vision, and goal, and making sure that we are all in sync as far as communicating our message. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So, like I said earlier, Bridget had a great deal in helping us get to where we are now, and
All
so
right.
now it's just
All right.
With the team, it's like right now we got a what I call a core four, and that's kind of like the nucleus. So we get together and we meet and put things into motion and vote on them and all that good stuff. So it's a process, and we just trying to build and grow this thing, and hopefully we can start our contribution to the world.
All right.
Yeah.
Good deal. Thanks for being here. And y'all put in some prayers for me this week. I don't know if we're gonna have a show next week because I am slated to be trying to move. It wasn't happy today, but I had to say that when God closes a door, He opens a window. The house that I was looking to get is now not available, and I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. I'm starting over again. So let's just say there's always an option. I may not see it or know what it is, but He always does things and He'll do them right on time. So that's the only thing that I'm going to say in that matter. It's going to work out. It's going to work out. So I'll let you all know if we're going to be on live or if we're going to take a break for a week or two while I get myself all together. Because once I move, I don't know when I'll have my services back, because sometimes AT&T takes their time trying to transfer these services, and so I have to wait until all my transfer and all that happens. So we'll see what happens. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. It's the yin and the yang for me right now because I'm looking at some magnificent stuff that is happening. Oh my God, it's magnificent. But at the same time, I'm looking at these immediate things that are going on, and it's very difficult for me to hang in the middle of it like right now. Well, I'll just say this, I may not have everything the way that I want right now, but at the end, we're gonna do some shit. I'm ready. Tandiland ready. We about to do everything that I dreamed of for years. God has put those promises in my heart, and now He is here to deliver. Tandiland project. This is God's project, and He did not bring me this far to leave me. So here we go. Right. So thank you all for being here. And here's my social media, y'all. First of all, I want to get next level. Let's go and drop next level real quick, and then we go to my social media. Here we go. And this one here. We hope that you have enjoyed this episode of Art Imitates Live with Tanya Dixon. So be sure to like and subscribe. And also check us out on all of our other social media. Hey, welcome back. This is one thing that I forgot to add just now. When I was talking about what was going on with myself, it's not just me. It's a group of us who are all moving on to another level. And every one of us right now, you remember that ride when at the amusement parks where the floor fell out of the ride? Y'all remember? And it spin around and the floor would come out? That's what we're like with right now. All the floor has just feel like it's falling out of all of us. We're all like, what the hell is happening? And what I told everybody, I said, keep calm. I said, this is the test before the testimony. You got to be still and wait on them. And that's what we're all doing right now, being still and waiting on the Lord. So it's all going to work out. But I'm really happy to have had the chance to be here tonight. Sometimes you need to clear your head and clear your mind just a little bit from the things that are happening in the flesh and know that everything is going to happen the right way in the spirit. But I thank you all for being here and discussing all the stuff that we discussed, from the tea to the living room. I used to wonder sometimes if we could talk about certain subjects and all, but y'all seem to find a way that whatever the subject matter is, y'all jump right in, and it can take it a lot further than I think you can take it. So I really appreciate you being able to take these stories that we get from the tea, and then taking the things that the topics from the living room and taking them to new levels. We go venture off somewhere, but we always get back to where we need to be, damn it. Because we got a lot that we got to say, and we put a lot of information out there, and hopefully somebody, and even if it's one person that listens and we can make a difference in that person's life, then we've done our job. Okay. Well, you know what? I didn't get it ready
Mike's back there in chill mode.
Was that now?
He's sitting back there in chill mode. Look at him.
Yeah, sometimes he just retreats like that. He don't know what that cat is going to do. But I am going to do this, and I'm going to do it right this time, because last time, remember when I got ready to do this, it didn't turn out. So I say to people all the time, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, and if you would like to, have any topics or comments or anything for the show, be sure to reach out to us. And you can reach out to us at info@tandiland.com. That way we can hear what you think. And like I say, you want to be a guest, you want to share any information with us, all that, we'd be very happy to hear from you. But if you are a Gmail person and you would prefer to do that on Gmail, go ahead and hit us at Tandygirl AIL. I did it right this time. Tandygirl AIL @gmail.com. All right. And make sure that your voice can be heard too. All right. Thank you all for joining us for yet another show. And I've had a great time. And we'll see you whenever we'll put the posters out there, of course, as to when we will be back. And as I always say in parting, good things come to those who believe. Better things come to those who are patient. But the best things come to those who never give up. I'm Tanya Dixon. This is the living room team here. And we shall see you next time on Art Imitates Live. Y'all have a good one. Y'all are funny. Y'all got real silent. Oh
yeah, who is she? Who is she trying to have a podcast?
It's like a silent movie for a moment. I said, wait a minute, I can't end with them saying nothing.
I'm just saying, who is she over here trying to have a podcast?
I know, right? All right.
Good night, everybody.
See you next time. Good night.